during war, asking for my family members in service. Do you want to take the options route on this? Perhaps, maybe.
How do you feel good about making money? I don't know. I don't know, man. You just don't feel any way, I guess. Like some of the questions, I read through some of his super chats, brother. I don't know. You have maybe become a politician. That's the way you can only really influence what's going on. Other than that, there's nothing you can honestly do, man, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. Well, you're absolutely right. I would say, look, you know, you don't have to be emotionally attached to the investment. The investment is what it is, right? Are you talking about maybe investing in military names or oil?
He's doing the opposite.
Things that are specific to the war? Because
he's talking opposite, because his first was like, what stock can I invest in to prevent death and destruction? Asking for a friend. Like, I don't know, man.
Well, I don't know how much money you have, brother, but
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to prevent death and destruction. I think that's going to be independent of any market moves. But
yeah.
Look, man, go to the good stuff, right? Find out exactly what the market leaders are in every specific the sectors that you're interested in. Find out what the market leaders are. Do some charting. Find the good technical levels to say, you know, it's bounced off this area multiple times, or if it's cleared it used to reject this area multiple times. Set up orders there. Remove the subjectivity out of it. Remove the emotional component out of it so that you're able to make these investment decisions even when the market is red, even when it's bleeding and it looks like, you know, it's the end of the world. Take the subjectivity out of it. That's what I have done. That's what I've been doing. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. Throw in the orders, set it, and forget it. Joe, anything before we roll?
No, that's it, man. Let's roll it on over. Have a good one, guys.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Yeah, the moral compass of investing, always questionable. We had some people on earlier in the show's history that they were like, I'm never investing in Meta because I don't, you know, like social media. And there's people that won't invest in Altria or Philip Morris, things like that, because of the alcohol and the tobacco aspects. People that won't invest
for the
in
defense companies,
weed names, which probably a good idea not to invest in weed names anyways. But you are better off planting your money in the ground and seeing if it grows weed than expecting money from those investments. But yeah, I just think it's a moral question. And if you, you know, unfortunately, the economies do tend to kind of expand during wartime due to the fact that there's more industrial production and yada yada and yada 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 yada.
But if you're a trader, just gonna say this: if you're trading, like the themes are the themes. Like if you're trading oil because the market's moving, that's just what you do sometimes. Financial crisis taught you that.
Yeah.
A lot of traders will tell you that 08 was some of their best years for trading, but everyone else sucked in the real economy. But we have 10 minutes to go.
Okay, what's happening?
Well. Nothing crazy is happening.
Interest rates.
Oh yeah, you meant that.
70% chance. We are still long SoFi. I think the best thing. So I'm getting out of all these positions, right? I mean, there's the SoFi long at 15. There's the SK Hynix, which is $3.50 in the money. So we'll go. Those were good ideas, but it doesn't matter. At some point, we got to empty out the clip here ahead of the interest rate, and just to give everybody a warm welcome. This is what Neil and I are expecting and the market's expecting. It's a 70% chance that we do not get a hike and 30% chance, therefore, that we do. So it should be interesting. We'll watch out. We'll follow the US dollar. We'll follow oil. Neil mentioned gold and silver had a little bit of a move there in the middle of the day. So we'll talk maybe a little bit about that as well. And we'll go over to the desk right now with Adara.
We're going to talk here, guys, about what to expect from the FOMC decision, which is now 10 minutes away. Just setting up all my screens here. As Neil and Sean mentioned, about 70-30 chance here, 70% chance we get rates held, 30% chance of a hike. It's interesting, too. We had actually comments from NEH, or National Economic Council, and White House Economic Advisor Kevin Hassett. And he came out here probably around a half an hour ago and said that he believes Fed Chair Warsh will, quote, do the right thing, which he didn't specify, but very likely means that he believes or would like the Fed to either cut rates or hold rates in place. Now, it is worth noting, of course, as we know, he's only one person. Fed Chair Warsh is the chair of the Fed, but there's also 18 other individuals and 11 other voting members. So just to recap here of what we are expecting, we're going to get that 2:30 p.m. conference. That'll be kicking off. That'll just be Fed Chair Warsh. But then at 2 p.m. proper, we're going to get that rate decision again. 3.75% is what we're expecting. We are expecting rates to be held in place. If not, we could maybe get a 25 basis point rate hike, but that is, again, on the lower end of the probability scale. Other things that I want to go over here before we send you back to Sean and Neil for like the 9 or so minutes left until the Fed decision. I will take you guys through the number. I will take you guys through the conference once it starts at 2:30 p.m. And Also, alongside the number, we're going to be getting a rate statement. So usually what we'll see is any changes that were made from the last statement versus this statement. So what we know for that June statement, the first statement under the leadership of new Fed Chair Kevin Warsh, we had a lot of changes because he was new and he really wanted to take out any forward-looking statements. Now that this is the second meeting, there's a chance that we see less dramatic changes, but there's very likely still going to be some changes between this statement and the prior one. So don't worry, I'll take you guys through all of it. Here's a reminder of our voting members for the Fed right now as well. So of course you have, as always, your 7 Fed governors. Then you've got Feds Williams, Paulson, Logan, Hammock, and Kashkari. Now it's worth noting these bottom 3 actually voted against the majority at the April meeting. So they are potential dissenting votes. We know we actually had a break from dissent at the June meeting, no dissenting votes. We'll have to wait and see if dissent returns to the Fed with this July decision. I will see you guys in about 8 or 9 minutes ahead of the announcement. Back to you.
Thank you for that in-depth. Adair just rocks it. I mean, all day, every day, but especially on a Fed day, for sure. Just very quickly, because I'm getting out of position too, so I just break even stop on DRAM. I like to be flat going into the decision. It's 3 o'clock, obviously. Sorry, 2 o'clock, obviously, and we're expecting.
Here, I'll show you.
Look, I'm expecting no change, but it's still 31%.
So I was gonna. Yeah, go ahead.
Which is a little bit. This is unique. It's a bit of a decision here, and we actually had a vote in our poll with the viewers. And first of all, just understand that when we do our polls unscientific in the morning, 75% said no change, 14% said raise, and I'm going to assume 11% were trolling with the lower. But at least a few of those were probably trolling. If there is...
Those are the people that are long.
Yeah, exactly. But I would imagine quotes break. We said this before. If for some reason they were lower, you wouldn't even be able to punch along. The quotes would just break, in my opinion, because it would be such a panic in the market.
Got some SoFi action there. Yes, exactly. Subjectivity, bleeding, remove yourself from situation, money. Good job, guys. Yeah, all of that.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you, AGB. If you're in a situation that you don't like, remove yourself from it. I think that's very good advice. Thank you. And I don't know if that was in reference to.
Let's leave something for the midday, maybe.
Okay, so just real quickly here, this is the U.S. dollar, right? Right now, they are obviously expecting a rate stabilization. We're not expecting a rate hike. Remember, if the market. I think you can actually, and you can't really trade the DXY, depending on what account you have. DXY is just a dollar index, not necessarily something they're going to be able to run in there and trade. But I think you could trade the US dollar long. If there is a rate hike, it creates better yields for the US dollar, and you could see the US dollar go to the upside. What does a strong US dollar do, therefore, to the market? A strong US dollar brings the NASDAQ and the ES to the downside. Okay, we talked about foreign investment and repatriating some of the money back in. We've seen the NASDAQ go on a rip when the dollar falls down, right? So not really too worried about any of the positions that we have left on board here with 5 minutes to go. We are going to watch the dollar. That should give us an idea potentially of what the market wants to do. We're plugged in. Adaira's plugged in. We'll be trading live for you here. Whatever winds up happening, you're going to be in the right spot. No idea. I know Adaira's waiting. I don't know if you saw anything on gold up there, Adaira, but we really took off on some volume spikes here around 12:30. So that started that little spike higher. Again, a hold in the rates. Gold does not pay any kind of a yield. So maybe, people a flight to a little bit of safety here. Also, silver bumps up there.
Yeah, big
so more of a flight to safety, I think, with gold. Bitcoin used to be something that we used to call a flight to safety, but not really anymore. So if traders may be nervous heading into what is 5 minutes from now, I could see that might be the reason why gold got bumped there. But Neil and I both looked for some news, and we just talked to Adair, and unfounded right now on why gold made that move higher.
But it does put them on the radar. I don't know that I was planning on having a look at silver in the afternoon, but absolutely now. If you're going to have this kind of movement, again, maybe some last-minute housekeeping, someone decided they want to risk off, or somebody knew something and is ready and locked and loaded to go. So silver is going to be on the radar. Remember, if it comes as expected, which is no change, then it shifts to what the verbiage is going to be from Warsh. And there's other ways that they can combat inflation. They can reduce the balance sheet. There'll probably be questions about that. So I would suspect, as per usual, assuming we don't get a rate hike here, that 230, when he's on the podium, that can be when a little bit more action takes place. So if there is no change, you might get some of that rubber band aspect where you get a chance to maybe like some dip and bounce something off VWAP there for some scalp trades, and then at 230 could be the real juice. All that assuming we get as expected, which would be no change. But if we do get a rate hike, I would expect IWM to get smashed. Look at some small cap, mid cap names that might get hit. Like solar names could be in trouble there as well. Anybody with a lot of debt, a CoreWeave could be in trouble. That's what you want to think about if we were to get a hike. Which, again, I'm not expecting, but you want to be prepared for that eventuality.
I mean, we just mentioned Bitcoin just real quickly. Yeah. Maybe there is something happening.
Yeah,
right
it's like
now.
everything's drifting.
A little bit of a drift higher here with only 3 and a bit minutes left before the rate. We can keep on updating this. I don't expect really. This is just looking at Fed fund rates and the money. Oh, it's not even updating anymore on the refresh. Oh, here it is. Uh-oh. 3 minutes. 20 seconds, so maybe they've taken this down. So, all right, we'll just, we won't worry about it. It was 70.30, and I don't expect any change over the last couple of seconds. So here we go, man. We're gonna watch out for Bitcoin. You're gonna watch out for the SPY and what winds up happening there. Just some little target areas with, okay, maybe my whole system seems to be slow. Just some target areas if we do start to move around on the SPY. Low of the day, 732. We're still flat on the SPY. No, we're down 0.7 right now. So, oh yeah, right there. So down 0.7 on the ES. We'll look to see if 732 gets taken out, and then a breakout on the high right there. Break of 737. I don't think, like Neil said, the machines might get broken if the market is a rate hike or lower. I mean, I think we'll just hope that we'll cross our fingers.
Get ready for volume.
And we'll hope that quote's hold out okay here, because the market's going to get inundated with volume pretty much ASAP. So we'll look at a 737 break higher or, a low break of 732. If it comes as expected, no change, then that will be seen as, I guess, somewhat dovish, right? I mean, more positive, because the hawkish move would be to raise rates. So a dovish play probably spikes the market a little bit. So let's wait to see, man. I think you go long on no interest rate movement, and definitely, hold on to your pants a little bit if it goes either way, north or south on that rate.
Boy.
So we're,
if they raise rates, get ready for the brown pants. Make sure you're wearing those if they do raise.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll be so bad. I think temporarily.
I just feel like most people aren't respecting that. Like, it's been 30 to 35% chance, and even when we talk to our viewers or anybody, they don't think it's happening. Jerome?
Oh no, we had a little Jerome.
We know what he might
trying to get involved over here. Jerome, this is no longer your show, my guy.
Yeah, where's Kevin's show?
Is Jerome part of maybe the task forces here? Oh, there's Powell. Oh, there's Warsh. Warsh got the block. No, there was no foul there. Warsh got the clean block on that, Powell. So we're getting excited here, and yeah, exactly. Jerome, stay out of this. People in the chat saying right there, but that's why Warsh came in and said task force this. All right, we are 1 minute away. Adara's plugged in. Let's go over.
Hi guys, I'm here to take you through the FOMC decision for July 2026. Once again, we have about 70% here of market participants, according to the FOMC. I guess the Fed Watch here, see me, Fed Watch, 3.75% is what we're looking at. So we're expecting a hold. Then again, there is roughly 30% or up to 30% of participants expecting we could get a hike. No expectation for a cut unless you ask White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett, who implied that there could be a cut earlier today. We are expecting either a hold or, less likely, there could be a hike. So yeah, just go over this. We're going to get the number. I will give you guys what I see of the statement. I'm also going to show you guys what the NASDAQ is doing, as well as the US dollar 3-minute charts for both as we get this number. 3.75% is the number we're looking for, 3.75% to 4. That's what we really want to see. If we see anything above or below that, it is going to be notable. So stay with me, guys, as we have your July 2026 rate decision in 3, 2, and 1. Waiting to hear what that number is. No change. So as expected, no rate change. 3.75% remains. I'm going to wait to see the statement. As I see the statement, I'll keep you posted. Push up higher here in the NASDAQ. You have a drop here in the US dollar, and Kashkari, Logan, and one other individual actually dissenting. So we did have apparently 3 dissenting votes, 9-3. Once again, we have a dissent in the Fed. I'll get an update once I hear more about who dissented. But again, you've got a 9-3 vote to hold rates. You have a move up higher here in the market and a drop in the DXY. As I see the rate statement, I'll come back here. Back to you.
Right, here's the US dollar. I mean, I'm glad we talked about it. Oh my God, what a move there. The US dollar straight to the downside. That should ignite a little bit here in the NASDAQ. No change. I said that would be dovish, so there it is. No change. Look at the US dollar. Nice move to the downside. Now we look at the strongest stock out there, Apple, I thought. If Apple breaks a high here, then I think we can try to go long, and that's sort of what it's doing right now. There goes
somebody knew something in silver.
There goes AAPL. What's going on with silver?
Well, I'm just saying, like, look at the move randomly in silver, and then look at the break. Like the market did go, but come on, like you just had a dollar move, 2 points up there in SLV. This is what the Nasdaq did. Like it barely went 0.5% to the upside. So gold and silver doing the opposite of what the dollar has done here. There you go. There's GLD. The miner's probably looking pretty good. I'm going to guess IBIT probably. Wow, IBIT was trending up for sure. That's looking pretty intense. Look, I already told you guys I was going to prepare myself for the odd chance that they would have raised rates, and that would have been punch short on IWM had they raised, because I think that would have been a big opportunity. Obviously, the IWM goes the other direction. So a full percent up for the Russell. Of course, small cappers really care a little bit more about the Russell.
Yeah, exactly. I just took Apple. Talk about Neil mentioned small capper. I punch into the largest cap name period out there. We do get involved with SoFi. Nice upside play, man. We'll take 75 cents every day there. But here's the play, man. I just punched into Apple. You know, again, name that was up 1.5%. We did talk about, you know, the fact that they were upside. We did like the fact that that was a dovish report there. The only problem is just because it was an interest rate hold, you know, we're waiting for the talk, right? There's going to be prepared speech. Let's go right now. I don't know if we're going to have diamond hands on this or not, but it's a nice move high side right there. Take a piece out there on that. And SK Hynix just ripped up. But look what we just did right before we exited stage left on our SK Hynix. So very, very small piece left there, and kept a little bit of play money in SoFi and took advantage of some of those moves as well. But we're not going to be in this for a very long time. If this breaks back down below, we're just going to stop out. You know, we thought that maybe Apple did have a chance to go. Right now it's going. We just took 20 or 30 cents. We'll take it again for a little piece out if it comes up to 20 again. And then we'll just let it ride and see how far Apple can take us into, hopefully, what is a good press conference. And I think I'll be stopped out, or it'll either go before then. But, of course, that's at 2:30.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So now we just got to wait. You just mentioned that silver was going. We could have a quick check on gold.
I'm not chasing that.
Look at this. As we said, like, you know, it's not even, and Neil said something like somebody knew something. We all knew something. It was 70% chance. So, like, you know, to get long gold there, we both talked about that. That was a good possibility. But the thing is, I thought gold might have spiked up on a rate increase, not necessarily on a hold. So, yeah, that's moving around right now. We can go over to Adara. What's up?
Reminder, guys, you had Hammock, Logan, and Kashkari descending in a 9-3 vote to hold rates. The three that dissented actually wanted to hike rates. So that's the reminder of the decision. I'm not seeing too much in the statement, which implies to me there probably wasn't too much of a change in the statement. Now, apparently, they highlighted strong productivity, resilience, and job growth, and ongoing ample reserves within the banking system. Within that statement, once I actually see the full look at this statement versus last statement with any changes, I'll keep you posted. But again, the fact I haven't seen that yet implies to me there probably weren't too many big changes. They did apparently describe economic activity also as expanding at, quote, a solid pace, with job gains, quote, keeping pace with the workforce. So nothing too wild, lots of pacing, as you can hear. If I get anything else, though, I'll keep you posted.
Like, subscribe.
Yeah, exactly. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. As we come back in here, I do suspect rubber band is usually the way to go. So don't want to chase the move in SLV, but if it comes back into the prior high, that's 52.5. That's a good spot to have a look just to see where we can buy some dips. I had DJT up before. I do not need that. Who cares? I'll put up IBIT just in case. I only wanted the IWM if it was the other direction. So I think now it might be a time to figure out as well what did not go. Like what's weak. Obviously not DRAM, that's for sure. So probably not SK Hynix. You want to look at some of the chip names that have been beaten up the most.
SK is coming back. I mean, I just got filled.
Yeah, Micron couldn't break out the top. Maybe I should be. Short DRAM.
Go Apple.
I'm going to take a shot short on a DRAM here because I want to look for something that looked relatively weak. I see Micron beneath the lows. I'm going to short this one, give it to this prior wick.
Yeah, I like the DRAM look over there as we just try to get a little bit more. Like we said, I think that was a pretty dovish call there by holding it. So we're good to go there. I did take advantage of that SK Hynix move back in. I'll bid some 128.25s or so. SoFi is doing fine. We're almost out of all of these positions. My biggest trade right now is on Apple. I have like 5 times the shares on Apple that I do anything else right now. So big move there on Apple. Not a big move, but we'll take it. We just got 50s there. So, you know, we just got what? 50? Okay, so now we'll wait to see if we get a little higher here. It's 50. We'll go a little high side now. There's 50 cents. Now we're 1-to-1 on the trade or so. So, we're out of half. No, not actually, sorry. We're out of only a quarter right now. Better put out another piece right here. There we go. We take 50, and there it goes to the outside. We want to thank all 8,000 of you watching right now. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, man. We've been doing it. We've been doing this for 6 years right now, and probably 6 divided times 4, right? We've been doing this for, talking about 30 plus Fed interest rate announcements. There's the move down on the dollar, so no surprise there. Trying to battle back. Let's get this dollar even lower right now, and let's rip Apple to all-time highs. It's already at all-time highs right now as we get a little long in the tooth here on Apple. Not even a huge move, man. I'm gonna take out another piece here at 40s if we can get it. Just trying to make a little bit of cash here on this play, and then we'll rearrange it because, like I said, we've got the experience and we've seen so many times that 230, whatever that very first question is, and normally it comes with my guy right here, Jerome, right? But we don't know. I'm not even sure how Warsh is going to handle some of the questions. So it might be time. Oh no, is he getting blocked again? It might be time to, exit out of some of your positions here.
I'll tell you how he's going to handle it.
Yeah, and then rework it in a minute. Go ahead, Neil, then we got to go.
He's going to say we got a task force for this.
Oh.
That's what he's going to say.
I just hope that Adara doesn't join the task force.
Check the betting odds. Apparently he's also not going to say good afternoon. That was... Yeah, because the odds of him saying good afternoon are pretty low. So I've taken one scalp and a second one we're going to look for in DRAM, but I did buy the dip in SLV because on some strength. We're going to go to Dara, get another update, so see what's in the statement here.
Yeah, and what's in the statement, Neil, is pretty much exactly what was in the statement last time. I actually heard one account describe this on X as, quote, the pithiest change here, red line that we've actually seen. When we say red line, we mean that crossing out words that are removed and red font for words that have been added. So as you guys can see, really all that was added was, I guess, a change here in terms of the vote. So as you can see, we actually have obviously a 9-3 vote versus a 12-0 vote. Last time that was changed. They also changed reaffirmed its policy to is continuing its policy. And then they added, of course, the mention of the dissenting vote. Pretty much nothing changed. So if we were expecting Kevin Warsh to give us any sense of what the Fed's thinking looking forward, which we really weren't, he pretty much was in line with what we were expecting. Now, in terms of how he's going to answer questions, if you watched his semi-annual monetary policy report, which I can give you guys the link to my rundown of that on X in the chat, he didn't really answer any direct questions, and he didn't answer them directly. He behaved the same way with other central bank leaders in that forum that was moderated by Sarah Eisen at the ECB earlier this summer, where he also said, yeah, I'm not going to answer any questions like that. And it actually got tense at times. So if we are expecting any kind of straightforwardness from him, I wouldn't expect that. I would expect that we're going to probably get a little bit more evasiveness. And again, I don't think he views it as being evasive. He just doesn't want to get the market excited one way or another. Let's see how the market, though, reacts to whatever he gives us. I also want to mention, unfortunately, more news out of the Middle East. I am seeing some reports from Fars News in Iran that Israeli forces are pushing towards the Al Raqad Valley inside Syrian territory. So if I get any more details, I'll keep you posted.
Oh, we don't need that much.
I was going to say, I might just get out of this.
Throw a wrench into everything.
Yeah, it's not, we got to now wait. I mean, the market's really not reacting at all right now to this interest rate hold, right? I mean, as expected, it probably just fades back out. We now have to, the long is going to be once he takes the podium. So I'm prepared to stop out of this trade. And yeah, I mean, we will lose slightly on it, but nothing too crazy. When we lose, we lose. When we win, we win. We'd like to tell you about it. So we did go long there, and now we're going to wait to see. Is DRAM making a move? You have your hand up over there.
Well, I took silver, but that just came out, and I'm going to hold it short. I have my hand up because am I the only person who had to look up the word pithiest?
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I have no idea what that word. Me and Neil looked at each other and what did Dara just say?
Pithiest is a superlative form of the adjective pithy, meaning most concise, forceful, and full of meaning. Not only does she bring you the news.
No, I think someone tweeted that out. I think.
Well, yeah, I quoted it, but I like the word, which is why it stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Well, I know what I know you know what everything means.
I love pithy. It's a fun word. It's a really
traders don't have very good vocabulary. I know what a tank is. I know what a rip is. I know what a stop order is. I know what long and short means and all that kind of stuff. But pithiest, I read too. I'm just keeping it.
You just read the definition and I already forgot it.
Well, that's fine. That is perfectly fine. I'm not even going to hate.
I'm not about that. I'm not going to lie about what I do around here.
Just very quickly, a few other things to watch for. I know we've looked at gold, we've looked at silver, we've looked at the US dollar. Here's TLT dropping like an absolute rock. That is, the TLT is the 20-year Treasury ETF. So you're seeing that fall like an absolute rock. Another way that you could always just be looking at a pair for the USD. Like you could look at like Euro USD, I suppose, would be one way to do it here if you wanted to. But Sean's already shown that dollar UVXY, so that's another way to look at volatility with the VIX. That's heading into the downside, kind of confirming a bit of the upward trend. But when I looked across the hood, let's just go like some of the regular names, like small move in Nvidia. Like this is why I'm like skeptical about the chips. As I was saying before, Micron underneath the volume weighted average price doesn't really look that big. I just saw Lindenmeyer saying, look at the move over here in AMD.
Oh, look at Google. Oh my God.
Alphabet probably.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the longs we had earlier today at 3:33.
Because it's such a beast, man.
And it just absolutely took off. I mean, we were short. Then we went long right there on the 34 break and got stopped out once it took VWAP right there, which is still great. I mean, we had a great trade there, but wow, there goes Google again to the upside. The not pithiest of stocks, Google right there. Adara laughed, so maybe I used that correctly. I have no idea. Okay, that's what we're doing there with Google.
Let's just say you did.
To your point, man, we got to maybe go back and have a look at some other names here because USO still up 7% on some of that news there. Look, I don't think President Trump just seems to have no control over whatever Israel is going to do. So, with troops apparently on way there, we never like to hear anything like that, but I guess it is what it is at this point. So, watching out to see what winds up happening with USO, probably, worse trades out there than, protecting your neck against.
Well, something
USO.
to consider. With no change here, depending on what we get at 2:30 out of Warsh on the podium, we could go back to, remember, major earnings after the bell tonight. USO up 7%, oil up 7%. Headline driven. What reported yesterday? You have names like Bloom Energy. Like you could go back to some of the themes unless we get some kind of a shock. For now, a lot of the bid is holding. For sure. Like I'm only in this DRAM, but a lot of the bid is holding. But try to keep in mind we've been in an environment where one headline, one post can maybe shock USO, drive the market down if it goes up, or vice versa. So it's a good place to look. Maybe the president wants to steal the spotlight. I don't know if that's going to be true, but we have 15 minutes before we even have to worry about hearing the Fed chair. Mm-hmm. And I'm really suspecting that with no change, it's going to be about the balance sheet, because if he signals some tightening in the other way, I think that could be a bit of a sign here of things to come. Right, if they're going to be sitting there and tightening up that balance sheet, though they might be forecasting which direction they want things to go, because we still have to worry about a cut this year, even with this keeping rates intact.
Yep. All right, guys, put some numbers or whatever you guys want in the chat here. We can see if we can talk about whatever right now, some stocks or whatever you guys want to look at. There's IBIT. Again, nice move up there for IBIT, so we'll have to wait to see that happen, pre-number. Post-number is just kind of like whatever right there. This is 2 o'clock right here. So we already there it is. We saw the whole market sort of move up like that. More importantly, tonight we have Starbucks, Microsoft, Carvana,
Meta.
CMG, Meta coming later on tonight. So look at Microsoft. They're like, hey, this was a better one. We definitely, we just should have taken maybe Microsoft, but now it's coming back in just a little bit. There's Microsoft at 1.2%. I actually thought Alphabet would have been a little, the name to trade here, but that doesn't look like it. We're about to break lower right now as the market's coming through, and then we'll get stopped out of our Apple trade right there and just deal with it, I guess, at the end of the day. Because, we didn't go ahead and put on a whole bunch of risk, but we did take a shot there. Microsoft doing that.
Sean, we have over 7,000 people watching. So the first thing I want everyone to do is everybody watching that is not in the chat, hit the subscribe button right now so you can be in the chat. It's a subs only chat. And let's crowdsource this. We got 15 minutes till Warsh comes onto the podium. Come to my screen. The SPY after, not when, after Warsh hits the podium. Mm-hmm. Long or short, I'm keeping it really simple. If you don't know how it works around here, all you do is you type to vote. You type a 1 into the chat. That means you think the market's going up. S&P 500 is going up after Warsh hits a podium. You type a 2 in the chat. You think it's headed down. Right now, we've already got about 40 votes, and it's 59, 57, 43, close to 50-50. So a little bit of indecision here. That's right. We got no rate hike. We got no rate cut. We stood steady. So 50-50 would make a little bit of sense. Slightly leaning toward the long side. Slightly, but very, very slightly. We'll leave that one up. Obviously, after 2:30, we can get rid of this and maybe put something up for the rest of the afternoon. But you got to be able to participate. That if you are in the chat, you can ask us questions in the chat. You can chat amongst our great community. You can tag us with any questions you might have for us or even for Adara, like look up this symbol, whatever it might be. So make sure you're in there. Get your votes in as, we're still looking inside the range. Like the initial spike, I'm just looking at DRAM, but I'm also looking at the Qs before we go back up to Adara. The initial spike is still the high. And we have not broken the new range that got made in the market up or down. So again, inside action until 2:30, Adara.
Yeah, I just want to go over here the votes that we had at this meeting once again. This has not yet been posted on XTTV Research. You can catch this on XTTV Research 2 minutes before the Fed meeting. But guys, we had a return to dissent, unfortunately. After a brief one meeting hiatus from dissenting votes, once again, we get a 9-3 decision. Again, 9 Feds voting in favor of holding rates steady. So that would be all 7 of the governors, with the Fed president of New York, who is always a voting member, and Fed's Anna Paulson, president of the Philly Fed Bank. Then you had 3 voting against. Now, these 3 are kind of becoming the dilettantes of the Fed, if you will, and that this is their second time of dissenting as a group in favor of a more hawkish stance. You've got Fed's Lori Logan, president of the Fed Bank of Dallas, Neil Kashkari, president of the Fed Reserve Bank of Minneapolis, and Fed's Hammock, president of the Fed Reserve Bank of Cleveland. Now, if you recall, these 3 back in April all voted in favor of removing an easing bias from the FOMC rate statement back in April. Now they're back here again, and this time they're actually voting for a hike. So keep an eye on these 3. Keep an eye on Truth Social for any reaction to this decision, because I think this is a pretty interesting look here. This, again, the second time in a row that we've had these 3 specific individuals, if there has been any dissent in favor of a more hawkish stance. I also want to mention while I'm here, no, it's a little bit early, but here are the implied moves for tonight. I just want to get ahead of this because I don't know how much time we're going to have with all of the Fed excitement. So you've got Meta, Qualcomm, Robinhood, ARM, Lam Research, Fortinet, Starbucks, Carvana, L3Harris, Microsoft, and CMG all reporting after the bell. I have earnings previews for more than half of these on XTTV Research, so definitely check those out here. I'll be posting this imminently, probably right now. Back to you.
All right, imminent probably. 2:18, so 12 minutes away right now. Uh-oh, what's that ching-ching? Oh, DRAM?
DRAM just hit VWAP, so I was expecting an inside move. So we played the top to VWAP, but I'm out, and we got 12 minutes to go here. Sorry, I was asking Grok something unrelated. Okay. No, it's like I
know what you're asking.
It's not even working. I can't load stuff on TikTok. I think how rapid the quotes are going is probably chewing up a lot, and I got the poll up and all that stuff. But we'll look for the next opportunity. I mean, unless we get to a good support where I want to buy the dip before 2:30, I'm just going to wait for Warsh to come in here. I think it was the right decision. The right decision to get out of SLV and hold DRAM there. But SLV is still looking a little bit strong. So, we picked the one. I like the short and I like the long. We held on to the short, but I think this will still be the place I look for some kind of a dip. So maybe that opening range, if we get past 2:30, that can be the place to go for sure. And we have 2 super chats.
Oh.
Luis Suarez wants to take a bite out of Palantir.
Yes, he does.
Luis, every single time you send a super chat,
like
I am going
Italian
to make
player.
a joke, even though I know you're not that Luis Suarez. What do we think about Palantir's report going into Monday?
Oh my God.
My first thoughts on Palantir is, does it continue to hold the trend where the stock price is going down? And I don't have a chart of the revenue growth, but imagine a chart of the revenue growth. It's going up, by the way. Spoiler alert. If that continues to grow at a rapid rate while the price goes down, something has to give. Usually those things don't diverge. But if that continues, I think it's going to be a good opportunity maybe to try to find a little bit of a dip at the prior lows, because they've been beating everybody up on earnings. Cheese and a chair.
Oh, the best.
Wire reference incoming. The Q&A session with Warsh will be like the police interrogation scene with Bird. He ain't saying nothing to nobody. We want a Fed chair that's like WEEKDAY. Like WEEKDAY's up there just like, hey man,
he's getting it all.
Yo, for another sandwich and some taters, I'll go another few murders, because he was just confessing to everything because he was going in anyways. Okay. So he was taking bodies for everything. So he was going in and he would take stuff off his boys, so he would take the fall. And all he cared about was getting his food during that time. He was a soldier.
Someone
I
said
feel like
offer
another
him
good
some
analogy
soda.
would be like literally every prosecution witness in the Young Thug trial who just kind of was like, well, I'll answer if you really want me to, but also I don't know. I feel like that is also kind of Warsh too. Like it's that reticence, that difficulty that he has answering, but either way, whatever funny analogy it is, I'm so excited to bring his sassy remarks to you guys live.
We will in 10 minutes.
Yeah, we should have that, and then we'll have him. I don't know if we're going to show a little video of it. I don't know if Andre knows that or not. No, we are not. Okay, so we have Adara. She'll be coming in live with absolutely everything. Meta tonight, Microsoft tonight. Oh, just a quick little update. You might be like, hey, how's this guy long at this price? So we actually did get broken out right there. Once it broke through 50, we did punch out, but we're just holding a little bit. It's just because hoping that we could find a base here and maybe take off a little bit. My new stop rate, okay, well, there it is. My new stop rate here is 40s. So if we break below, we'll try it again here at 343.50. It's just been bouncing off 44. So we did pretty good to make back like the 50 cents that we sort of lost there. We actually made a little bit on the way up when it first was announced. Then we got stopped out, but only out of a little bit. Now we just sort of reload it once again here. So we'll see if we can get something out in the mid to high 60s and then high 70s, just because this is going to be like a 20-cent trade. So I would, if I could speed up the time, that would be really nice. But I do think that this could drift a little lower. That's why our stop is now at 40, breaking through the 50 period, moving average right there, and we'll just stop out of Apple and say, you know what, we gave it a go. And then I'll probably be mad once it rips higher after Warsh takes the podium, but it could also go the other way. So, we'll just play off the sort of indicators that we have. And I think I would probably have done this trade anyways right around this level if we didn't, there it goes, even if it wasn't Fed day. Like Apple right now, nice move higher there, takes out that level right there. Feel like this is a good long, but maybe I stopped that at the wrong spot. Maybe I didn't. We're just gonna wait for it, see if it actually wants to do something. Better off, I'll be right back to Apple. Trust me, I'm gonna trade it, but right now let's get away and we won't worry about it.
Did you see?
Yeah, I was gonna say, meanwhile, what we've done is SK Hynix, we actually did a good job of holding this one. This was sort of the opposite way around right now, as that fell in to some levels. So, when that number came out 130, we've actually made $2 back on this trade. So that's why the net wasn't really fluctuating too much. But at the end of the day, you got to make your decisions. And then we got out. And purple means we actually got out of, we had an offer there, but I got out of more shares than we had offered, so I took it as a short offer. So we did do really well getting out there at 70. Now we're trying to see what SoFi is doing here on the downside. But yeah, SK Hynix, nice move down, and there's Apple, of course, now 10 cents higher than where we got out. But we're gonna wait for a couple minutes.
I got to shout out Lindenmeyer in the chat because I didn't notice exactly where SpaceX bounced today at a 111. Which has been your level for a while, Lindenmeyer. Just some housekeeping. If you weren't watching the morning show, you'd be like, why is this guy short at $10 on DJT? So I'll just quickly go over it. Here is DJT. Here is the resistance above $10. Here is the daily. Whoops, got to really zoom in so you can see this better. Here has been the issue at the $10 level and just underneath it. So topping tail candles on this stock at that price, it's just a technical trade. So when it reversed exactly at $10, well, I should be short at 97 or 98, but I'm short at 95. We'll play it to the low. I was actually going to reload in this right before. Timing-wise, silly, but it did make a lower high. But right before the Fed, that's no point. So I'm going to get some out in front of VWAP and then probably down around 980. But it's really more about Warsh at this point. I'm going to have to get used to this. Like I
wish he was speaking right now.
I haven't made the mistake yet, but I promise you, at some point today, I am going to say Powell or Jerome and just understand that it's still a force of habit and it's not intentional. You guys know we mean Warsh. IWM's not really doing much of anything. Is silver at VWAP yet? That's what I want to check. SLV.
I don't feel you're going to make that mistake.
It's barely falling. Eventually it's going to happen.
I don't think you will. I have more faith in you than that.
Really?
I think so. I think you're going to hear Dara say his name enough, and then we just forget about. We'll forget about what's his name again?
Bernanke.
Greenspan.
Alan
I
Greenspan.
don't even remember what it is anymore. Yellen. Yeah, Janet. Is it Janet? No, but of course we'll wait. We'll wait for Warsh.
Neil Kashkari.
Yeah, you just want someone to say Neil.
Hey, did you see who was dissenting? Kashkari wanted to raise rates.
Why is Kashkari even? I didn't think he was a voting member.
Man, don't trust a dude who can't spell his own name Neil right. Okay, Neil is spelled Neal, Neil Kashkari.
Come on, Neil. He also, that Neil, not this Neil. Also, that Neil has, again, as I said, voted in a hawkish way before, back in April. So if anyone, there was any time, Neil, this Neil, for him to clip you, for Trump to say your name live, this could be the time.
I pity the fool that wants to raise rates.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying. I pity the fool that doesn't hit the like and subscribe button.
You sounded much better than Sia did right over
Like
there.
and subscribe button.
That was a good one, though. Sia, I like the energy.
Sia?
Sia, how are you enjoying the food?
A little less hair now than when I did that, apparently.
You're eating what?
Shit. What the heck?
Oh, bagel. She's having a bagel right now. Okay, hey, I just heard in our ear that Sam Altman is to meet with the White House. What's up with that right there? We'll see if there's anything going on there. Maybe ChatGPT gets some sort of early access, OpenAI, to all of your government data. Nothing like having these large language models access. I have no idea what they're doing. But okay. Do you want to talk about what OpenAI? Well, it's only 3 minutes. We'll just let's stay here for a second.
Yeah, I just know why, but it's not that big of a deal. We've talked about it before.
Okay, why is it?
Because they want, basically, they're like, oh, hey, government, you can give us the approval ahead of time for these models. But we already knew he was going. We already know Jensen's in Washington, too. It's not that surprising.
Okay. Yeah, just real quickly there. Thanks, Dara. Yeah, that's what we were talking. Oh, here we go. We have a button for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dara.
Okay, there we go. I barely heard it, but I'm sure
really
it played. Okay, so there's a downside move. Press again if I want to, okay?
Thank you very much,
Okay, a
Dara.
little bit better. Right there. So here's the move down now on the dollar. Very much stabilized now. There's that instant move. And the thing is like, I'm going to have to trade this next time. Like I said, we've done over 30 of these things. And it's like every single time I see a great reaction and it always just as if it didn't even matter, like boom, it was 70% chance that this was going to happen. Like we knew that a hold was dovish. And that should have happened to the dollar, and that is exactly what wound up happening. So, other than trading the actual Forex itself, which we do have on the platform, I'm just not overly familiar with it here because we don't really look at it too often. But yeah, that would have been a great thing to look at. SK Hynix is kind of falling all over itself a little bit here again. So I'm just going to take another opportunity here to SKHY out of this thing and then just put a bid here, punch out a little bit. I do have another bid at 126. So if worst case scenario sort of hits, I don't even know if it's worst case, we're going to take a 126.50 right there. That's just where I'm bidding. So we'll see if it comes back in and fills us up to that downside. But what we lost in Apple there, just to hold an SK Hynix has been worth it. So we'll wait to see how low can we go. Only 2 minutes left until, what was his name again?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
What's his name?
It's coming back.
J.R. Ewing?
And remember, everybody J.R. Ewing. Yeah, is this Dallas? Where's Sharif over here?
J.R. Ewing.
Just real quickly, man, we do have, if we refresh this thing, hey, there he is. There's the man, the myth, the legend himself. You're going to see 7,300, but only 600 of you hitting the like button. Please do yourself a favor. Remember, I've already promised this to many people. It's about a 50% chance that if you hit the like button right now, your next trade will be a winning one. So, 50% chance might be worth it. I'm going to refresh this in a couple of minutes.
Hit the subscribe as well, and it moves up to 60%.
Yeah, let me see if this, yeah, exactly. So here we go. Let's see how many people hit it right there. All right, about 100 of you. So there you go. So your next trade has about a 50% chance of winning. So
with less than 1 minute to go, I know there's small cap traders out there. DFNS, thank you, Adam James Abroad. Finally, a decent trade. Tap updates on DFNS. Thank you for the super chat there, Adam. I can tell you that the tap is not going to help.
Adam?
It's actually 44. So it's halted at 44.02. Theoretical auction price is right at 44. It's indicating a flat open here for DFNS. But I mean, if you took this breakout, sometimes it's as simple as look at this resistance. The second it broke away, that's what you do with the small cappers. So congratulations to you.
Are you going long or short? We don't really know. I guess it's too expensive.
I make the assumption that if you don't say you're longing the stock.
Yeah, I would say
right. To me, by default, if you say you're involved in something, then you're long. If you should be telling people that you're looking for the short here. And if you're short this, then thoughts and prayers. If you're short this name. Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers. I mean, hopefully you'll be able to get out roughly around that.
I mean, you're stuck up in a halt after it just ran 15%. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how many eyeballs are on it. With Warsh speaking, apparently now it's 2:30. So Adara and Sia back there. We'll wait to see. My eyes on Apple. I think that there's still good positivity in this name. Up 1%. Still want to go long. And I probably will think about punching long 44s again. Let's just wait to see that we do have the get up in the stock to get back upside right there. Okay, so we'll wait to see if there is a move there. Reporting tonight, Starbucks, good mover above $100. We'll wait to see if it wants to hold out for that. Whoa, what's going on there? I don't want that up there. I got to take this off right there. But yeah, Starbucks right now trying to hold out pretty good. We'll see if there's some love coming back into that name for Starbucks. There he is.
I thought we weren't showing.
I thought I asked if we weren't going to show this, but I guess we're showing it temporarily as he does now. I will put that back on. What color is that guy's tie? I mean, there needs to be some
Blue.
Blue. Okay, Adara, please note that as we got a blue tie right there, and we'll see what the reaction to the tie is, and see if there's any sort of relationship with the tie. And
Tie-gate.
it used to be that tie gate was with Powell.
Yes,
of course.
I don't know. I don't think that's a thing anymore.
No, I don't think it is either.
No.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it is with Warsh. Okay, so here we go. Now we're starting to go to the back of the upside, just as we had thought. As soon as we take the mic. Now, remember with Powell, it would always start to try to go because, again, he was very, I thought anyways, pretty dovish when he took the mic. You can see right now we are starting to move around. Again, if Adara hears anything at any time, then we will definitely have a look at whatever happens here in the market. So there goes Apple, just not much going on. NASDAQ coming back in as well. We'll wait to hear if there's any updates. But for right now, here we go. The economy is showing impressive resilience. I'll leave this all for Adara, but hearing some stuff in our ear. What's our opinion on level 2 or L2 Harris? Or is LII a stock?
Oh, that's Lennox.
Oh, LII, okay.
Yeah, you must be an L. You mean Lennox? I'm assuming LII.
Is that Lennox?
Unfavorable.
Isn't Lennox isn't that who makes my furnace? Right there? I don't know. Anyways, we can have a look at that. What's your opinion on LII?
Does this face? See the
down 20%. I guess you got to read the number there. What's going on?
Yeah, again, fun. You got to look fundamentally what you like about
this.
this. The market is absolutely tanking. I saw a bit of a shoot up in oil, but I didn't quite catch it. There was some stuff going on.
Adara has something.
As USO is making a bit of a jaunt to the upside. Sorry, we'll maybe look at that one a little bit later. Bit of a bounce in USO. You got Warsh on the podium. Market heading back down.
You've got NYMEX future settling, but I want to talk about what Warsh is saying here. He's talking about the economy showing, quote, impressive resilience. But what's also interesting, too, is he said, as you've noticed, this statement, like the last statement, a lot leaner, and it's just going to be focusing on the facts. There's already so much uncertainty. So basically, the implication here of his statement seemed to be that because there's uncertainty in the world and in the market, he wants to keep the rate statements as bare bones as possible without kind of giving any sense of where the Fed's looking forward. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess, how the market feels about that. He's also saying, quote, there is no soft inflation target, and repeating that, quote, the committee is steering clear of forecasting. He also described the discussion, which again did result in a dissenting vote, as, quote, collegial. So he seems to have, yet again, good things to say about his FOMC members. But not a lot to say in terms of where the rates will go from here. I think the Q&A should be interesting. Last time his statement was pretty brief. I expect this statement to also be pretty brief. I'll keep you guys posted. Also saying that, quote, 5 years of high inflation have left an impression that it's hard to shake, that the Fed's implicit target was above 2%. So implying again that he wants to get inflation at or below that 2% target.
I mean, it sounds a little hawkish to begin with. But, I want to hear about the balance sheet a little bit more. So we'll see. It's early. Oftentimes we'll have him on the podium till, I think last time at past 3 o'clock and usually around 3:15.
I think that's
we're
the
wrapping
unique
up.
thing about this particular time.
You don't know.
Right, is that we're sitting here kind of wondering, like twiddling his thumbs a little bit, like
he's
what
a
is
bit
Warsh
different.
going to be like? And, are we, how is he going to speak? Is he going to speak confidently? How does this all go? This Warsh again appointed by President Trump, so we'll just keep on watching. As I'm still watching The Spy, but there's nothing happening. So I just want to show you, like the Nasdaq. This was 2 o'clock. We've already touched down, to these levels. So I think the market's kind of unfortunately treating this a little bit like a nothing burger. I don't really have too much to hit. I'll maybe hit fail on extreme action, but it doesn't mean that there wasn't money to be made. We talked a little bit about Bitcoin, and then plus we're going to go over to Adara. I just want to check USO. Okay, not doing anything. What's up, Adara?
So this is really interesting. You got Fed Warsh kind of implying here that the reason that I guess we're having the markets and inflation reacting in a certain way is because, quote, markets are learning to play the ball, not the referee. So he's saying that because the Fed has pulled back with their guidance, the markets are responding in kind. Now, this seems to me, for someone who doesn't like giving making these leaps to be kind of a leap, but we'll have to wait and see if we get anything more from that. He's also, again, saying here, though, that nominal real treasury yields are materially higher, and also saying that even though they didn't make any kind of rate change, that there was nothing, quote, inertial. So I guess there wasn't any inertia. Things weren't just stagnant during this discussion or with their strategy. But yeah, again, just to restate that thing that I think is really important here, he's saying that prices reacted in real time to incoming information, and he believes that's because guidance was reduced. So, I mean, make of that what you will, but I thought that was a really interesting point that I think is really revealing of his strategy and his opinion on how the Fed should operate. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Adair. I mean, I don't think you could have more at this point, more indecision with what the market is doing here. Initial breakout, pulls right back, pulls right back into support. We have no break of the high, no break of the low. So you just got to be, I think, a little bit patient, because I think usually we find a bit of a direction here. I typed in the chat, rest in peace to those that are short DFNS. It opened back up. It's halted upside again. It tried to lose the bid, but they couldn't. So anybody that shorted this, as I said, Godspeed. But it's at 47.42. Tap is now 47.75. So this time it's indicating slightly higher. It did halt down earlier today, but I think this is like the third halt, and 2 of them to the upside. So this one is absolutely flying. We're saying CapEx is preparing the ground for future growth. Interesting. I don't know that that's something I expected him to be commenting on.
Now he's commenting on data centers and CapEx spend? Or what is that what he's referring to there, Dara? Okay, well, he's talking about, okay.
Did the Fed chair just endorse CapEx
Let's
spending
go
on
long
the
Google and
names?
Meta. Let's go long Google, Meta, Microsoft, all of them.
Well, he's kind of been, and this came up actually a lot during his semi-annual monetary policy report. He's very much the markets Fed chair, and some senators and Congress people had an issue with that, but he made that pretty clear that he does think in that frame of mind, for better or worse.
They do say don't fight the Fed.
Yeah, that's what I'm
just
saying.
Going to throw that out there.
This is what I'm saying, is what is going on? I like that.
What's Meta doing?
I like that talk right there.
Meta's probably not caring.
My legs are feeling some kind of ways. Today I was swimming, and they've actually extended it. You can swim basically the whole day now. So
nice.
I said 45 minutes I was going to do, and I just did it 1,750 meters I did, or 1.1 miles. I don't know if that's any good or not, but shout out to the swimming people.
I would die.
Swimming 1 mile?
I would die.
I don't know. It's in a pool. It's in a YMCA lap pool. Yes, Adara?
We're just talking about memory prices now. Like, I'm not joking when I say this man is really talking about memory and memory demand. And again, he's saying these are the things that the Fed was most focused on during the meeting. He's saying these are things the Fed talked about. So this isn't just him. So you have to wonder, I mean, I would love to be fly on the wall in these meetings, but this is getting pretty interesting. Very excited to hear what the questions are going to be.
Okay.
I find it that's what they're talking about. They're talking about CapEx. They're talking about memory demand, and that. Obviously, it does make some sense, because the trickle-down effect of higher memory prices is going to be, you saw Apple raising prices. That's something that we have seen. That certainly can affect inflation, but probably not as much as sustained raised oil prices. But that being said, we're seeing a bit of a bounce here. You know what? I'm going to get out of DJT at break even. Why? Because VWAP's a thing, and so is the prior day high. So volume weighted average price, prior day high. See, you just saw my stop order at break even fire, and it fired in order all the way up here, of course, filling at 90.
And now we're really ripping.
95, because now we're really ripping here. I might have missed a chance that.
Again, that CapEx talk, man. Maybe there's something
him
about
liking
it.
CapEx is.
Maybe there's
that's
something about it. I might just take the overall NASDAQ as a long right now. I mean, we'll go over to the TQQs and just have a quick little look to see. Like, it basically just gapped up right there, the NASDAQ. Like, that was a boom right there. I looked over at Apple, it was almost back to 344, again, all-time highs. But what about this take? Why don't we just try this? I mean, if the continuation trade happens, the NASDAQ's down 0.67. I mean, there's lots of room to get back up to the upside. We've made back everything basically all day right now. That DFNS is now 49.60, I just heard in my ear. DFNS. And you had appropriately said rest in peace there, and it looks like.
Well, I hope nobody's actually short that thing.
Well, I'm saying you nailed it. I mean, at least we can talk about that. That was the right call. There now, DFNS. Thanks everybody for bringing it to all of our attention, as it's still ripping higher. All right, I'm going to do that on the TQ. Well, the TQs is doing it right now. It's taking out these highs right here, right now. I'm just going to go with whatever that last little move was. We stopped there, 61.35. All right, we're going long, 61.35 break. Putting the order in right now. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, this is really interesting. So we're now getting the first two questions, both from the same individual at this Warsh hearing, and it's continuing to put out this whole interesting message of Warsh saying that he wants the markets to talk to him. In fact, he was just asked, if you want them to talk to you, what do you think they're saying? But his first response here, again, on, get more into this whole unfiltered message from markets thing that you've been saying. He basically said that, quote, we're trying not to interfere with the market signal. So he's basically saying that he thinks the market is reacting more organically to numbers now that the Fed isn't really giving forward guidance. He actually said directly, quote, markets are reacting to events much more directly. So yeah, this is a really interesting narrative. And really, I don't think he's going to be straying too much from that narrative or answering questions in a direct way throughout a lot of this Q&A period.
Good enough. Yeah, there goes the futures. So we're in this one. So new position alert. We're long on the NASDAQ right now on the break higher. I choose to always trade with the TQQs. So, pick your poison if you're with me. But there it goes. Nice little upside play there on the TQQs. All good, baby, baby. It was all a dream. There it is. So we're out of SK Hynix. See you later, SK Hynix. I can care less about you. Here we go. The futures are now ripping, man. This is a big trade. We just called it. Let's go. We'll spin that money train upside down again. And there it goes, man. We went long on the futures. And there it goes. TQQ, triple levered. So, I know a lot of people are trying to ban the triple leverage stuff, but as a day trader, we like it. We like it a lot right there. And there it goes. Nice upside play there on the break of the highs on the NASDAQ. At least we talked about it. There's a play. Put it in live. Hopefully you guys are with me on this one. There goes the TQQs. Let's just wait to see what winds up happening, man.
Yeah, I said I was going to go back to silver on the long trade, so that's exactly where I'm going. At more or less the same entry price, just trying to fill this gap in back up to 53.3, back into the highs. But the other place to look, if Warsh is saying all this stuff, here's a look at the MAGs. If you don't know, MAGs is the MAG 7 ETF. Mm-hmm. That's also breaking out. So if he likes CapEx spending, I feel like he just literally endorsed the MAG 7.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Like, what are we going to go wrong? Meta, Microsoft, everything but Apple.
Like, did he not? So on a pullback, if it can hold these prior highs. Now, the only thing is, yeah, you got Tesla in there. Their CapEx isn't this big, but who cares? They're still doing as well. I want to see this try to hold a prior day high, consolidate up here, and then retake the top, and then that could be a bit of an entry. Not really looking at anything short after what he just said. You think you're looking for entry points. Silver, I knew at this price we liked, but the MAGs could be good for sure. And just for everyone, I know we have some small cap traders out there. DFNS opened back up and is heading lower. Tagged 50.
What?
So broke out, tagged 50.
Every time we tag in 50.
50. Tagged 50 and now pulling back a little bit, DFNS. So I guess the shorts aren't dead just yet. They have some life. But they better take their profits because you know what can happen with some of these bad boys.
I think you hit it with, the MAGs. Some stocks are going to go up, some aren't. Like, even Apple is not.
Well, they're not CapEx spending.
Yeah, so Apple right there. Adara's having literally the time of her life back there. Yeah, so we're going to wait.
Get it, Adara.
I'm sorry, you just talked about the path to, what was it? The path to Fed heaven or Fed policy heaven. It's getting really weird. And again, questions are not being answered in any way. There's a lot of talking around the question.
Wow, what a surprise. And sort of an elected official, they're not really answering questions. All right, so we'll wait to see.
In the job description.
Yeah, that might have been in his job. Trump might have said, okay, I'm going to ask you a couple questions here. Let's see your answers. And then when they weren't proper answers, Trump was like, you got to
come in there like this. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions and I would like to have them answered immediately. That's how you ask it. And straight up, everyone just, we're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, everyone, there's this guy's like sort of like an African prince or something. We got to definitely answer that.
You got to put the right amount of bass.
Okay, so there it goes. Yeah, that's true. You got to have that deep voice. All right, so here we go, man. I'm just going to hold this now. Honestly, I've been doing too much scalping. We're out of half, almost exactly half. A little bit more than half. We'll hold 40% as we watch this name. Oh, God, we just got out more. Okay, so now we have 40% left right there as we take that fill. There it is, man. This is now nicely in the money. If you're trading futures, we have a thing for that. If you're trading futures right now, then you belong with me at 27,888. You're at 27,970. So almost a 100 handle move right now to the upside. So we're pretty happy with this. As you can see, we're starting to go. So far, so good. Let's just see what winds up happening now with Warsh and company as we're definitely rallying it up. I don't know if it's that CapEx talk. I don't know if it's the whole blah, blah, blah. I don't know what is going on right now. We've got Adara back there. And on that note, I'm going to take a 97 fill here as I think we've just basically taken it all back on the whole day. Yeah, so there it is right there. The NASDAQ, guess what, man? We just turned green right there. So if you're trading today, you're trading the long side, you've got yourself a chicken dinner winner right there. The wife is making a chicken teriyaki bowl tonight as we got to go to. My daughter got invited to
Can't lose.
another practice there for an older team. So maybe, I don't know, I don't want her to play up too much. But
Can't lose.
okay, let's go back over to the desk and see what Adara's up to here with Warsh and Company.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know, as we get this move higher, keeping an eye on Warsh's comments, listening to him in my ear as well. One thing that Warsh did say that could potentially be responsible for this next leg to the upside is, quote, we got some encouraging inflation data and we will be watching over the period ahead. So we'd like to hope they'd be watching inflation data. Warsh saying that, in fact, the Fed will be doing that. He also said that, quote, the core print for CPI for June didn't influence the decision much. So that's going to be interesting here, too, the extent to which data and data dependency in the Fed is going to be in play going forward. We know that tomorrow morning we've got the PCE prints, core and non-core. You've got personal income, personal spending, and GDP. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess, if there is any Fed reaction to whatever we get from these numbers at the next meeting in September. He also said that interpreting markets is, quote, an imperfect business.
Thank you there. I take it. You got to stay hydrated. I just
Yeah.
literally just finished my water and it's 2:45. We still got we got earnings after the bell as well. Do not forget those. But like the Fed chair probably just made a bit of a, I don't know. I think the manner in which we look at the earnings is going to be totally different now. I have to get bags unblocked apparently because I don't think anyone else is trading it. Because it's blocked on our system.
Under 50,000 shares.
Yeah, well, it's like done a couple million shares. IGV is blasting higher, so you're seeing software names likely dragged up by Microsoft. But if we do not break out this top on SLV, I'm just going to go to 15 and quickly show you what we're looking at here. I wanted this high, right? Like it's right up into Monday's top end of the range, right here. So we liked it for the break above that close because you have a big gap fill, and we're looking for that 53.3. So if it's cresting here, whether or not he's off the podium by then, I think I'm just going to take the top if we can get it. So a couple more points and we'll jump out of this trade. Keep in mind, we probably still have at least 15, 20 minutes to go-ish. You never really know how long the press conferences are going to end. But oftentimes we'll get reversals.
Oh, no, more. I think more than this. I think it was about 3:20-ish, wasn't it?
Was it that late last? I don't remember.
No, not for him. I think Powell generally was. Okay, by the way, we're starting to really go now. We're almost clubbing with this trade. I mean, this is now over 200 handles as we rip City to the upside right here. Wow. Now, he just said something else. We'll go to Adair in a second. But that was a nice little extension there. Man, oh man, I got to do better on holding these things. But we're out all the way up. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day right now. And everybody in the chat, someone was like, man, we're going to trail this guy with some SPY calls. I hope you guys did, man, because it's been real nice. Neil's got long SoFi. I'm on that side. Right now, Neil flat. We still got long SoFi. I did want to show you that I just took another fill. So we didn't actually panic on the way down. If anything, we could have gone longer, but we were looking at the market, not SoFi. And there's the move back higher, right into these levels once again for SOFI. Come on, Anthony Noto. You know, come up with a little bit of a better report there than you did today.
The report was fine. It's just typical SoFi.
Yeah. Okay. Was that called Adair or no? Okay, no. Okay, that's fine. All good. All right, we'll just keep on going here with this market talk. Getting to the high side right now is the NASDAQ. Maybe potential pullback. I do have a third left right now, so I'm going to take this opportunity to get some more out at 7 and 8s, and then we'll just wait to see where we go from here. There's also a headline on the screen, says Andre in my ear. Thank you so much, Andre. Warsh, my own judgment is this is a period of watchful thinking. My own judgment is this is a period of watchful thinking. Okay, so, all right. I don't know how to trade off of that or what that really means, but I think it's always good to watch and think at the same time if you are the chair of something.
That sounds confusing.
So I would say good job on that one. I think the more important thing is how many dissents were there, Adara? 3. And what was that? Oh, Adair's camera is a little bit off, so we're gonna wait for that. But I can hear everything she's saying. So yeah, 3 dissents. So we'll wait to see if that has sort of any effect on the market. Oh boy, we just got it right there. Now it's $1 in the money. We are really going, man. I mean, I think now. I know I always say this, but why not just hold? Where else can we go on this move? Let's go have a quick look. TQQs. Let's call it up. Here's a 15-minute chart for the TQQs, right? So we're trying to go back up. This is just on e-signal right here. That level right there, 62.70. That's sort of the top that we got in the after hours. That's a top from yesterday. So I think that could be, instead of me just getting out every 10 cents for a little piece like I normally do, let's try to hold this. That's 62.60s, okay? So let's put an offer there. If we get it, we get it. Adara's back.
Yeah, guys, we're getting some comments here from Feds Warsh. This is by far, I think, the most direct thing that he said this entire Q&A period, and really even in his prepared statement, quote, if inflation stays high, rates could be part of the solution. So implying that the Fed could be raising rates at some point, but also saying that, again, their goal is to deliver that 2% inflation. Also, in case there wasn't enough excitement, President Trump is going to be appearing live in about 5 minutes alongside Department of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy and reportedly UAL CEO Scott Kirby, but you didn't hear it from me. No, I'm joking. If you did, I mentioned this earlier. We are very likely here to get some kind of announcement about the Washington Dulles Airport with UAL CEO Scott Kirby. So keep an eye on UAL. I was seeing that report earlier. That plus the whole situation with Sean Duffy being with President Trump. Good chance that announcement comes today. If I hear anything else, I'll keep you posted. I'm going to somehow find a way to watch both of these hearings. I've done it before. Back to you.
Oh, I think we can expect to hear something about the lack of a rate movement in the right in the direction that the president wants. It would be my guess, but we'll see.
I even think he's gonna. I think he could even comment on this market move and be like, "Look, we finally got somebody in the Fed that knows what they're doing," and then look at the market, right? I don't necessarily think that that's the right approach.
It's not up
there.
I don't know if we're up enough for that, but
Fabian, come show everybody your shirt over there. I want everyone to know that you are actually getting paid. But I just want to show everybody.
Feels like I'm a volunteer.
Yeah, it does feel like you're a volunteer, doesn't it? Right there.
Nice.
Hi, Fabian. This is Fabian. This is the man that is responsible for the cameras, the lighting, basically all the IT and the technology that we have here. Right here. There. Wow, look at that hair. Jesus.
Look, that flow is...
That is something
out of control.
else. When was the last time cut? Like,
I did the math. It's been over 1,500 days.
1,500 days.
Yeah.
So you're talking 5 years or so.
I didn't
Four
realize
and a
how long
bit.
it's been.
4 and a bit.
4 years?
That is awesome, man. Oh, man.
I mean, I also haven't cut my hair in 4 years.
That's just crazy. Yeah, you would think I'm cutting my hair every day, but it just doesn't grow. This guy's over here is very nice, Fabian. Very, very nice. I like your hat and everything too. All right, get out of here, man. Thank you so much, Fabian, for all the hard work this man is doing. And, coming around, just trying to fix everything for us and make it sound a little bit better. We've had some complaints about our mics, and now I feel like the mics are, I haven't seen anybody now cue everybody complaining about it, but we've really done a good job there.
It's been so much better.
Yeah, of handling all of the issues. And you saw Fabian with these huge little boom mics coming through, various different setups as he gets ready. We are going to stay a little late today. The last report that we're going to be here for is hopefully 4:10.
Microsoft
there tonight. Microsoft's at 4:10, so stay late with us. Neil and I will be here for another hour and a bit as we take you into earnings. We'll cover Microsoft, we'll cover Meta, and actually, let me just call up the chart here. If you go over to Trader TV Live right now, Trader TV Research, we do have, this is Adara's page, so everything she just talked about, here's the rate decision chart that she had showed before. Here's what we're looking for right here. We're going to be going live with all of this. Not this, but we're going to be going with Meta. I mean, you want to talk about, oh, by the way, the TQQs just hit our damn level right there. So what's up, 50 again? Nice move up there, 62.50 right now as we just go crazy right now in the futures. Meta 8%, Qualcomm 8%, Robinhood 10%, ARM 12%, LRCX Lam Research, 12%, Fortinet 12%, Starbucks over there 6%. I'm not just going to keep reading them, but you can see there's a lot there with Carvana, the one I skip, of course, one of the largest ones, CVNA there. We'll see what happens there. With rates remaining the same, probably bullish there for Carvana. Most of their deals, of course, in the car space, dealing with financing. And then there's L3 Harris. That's why I was wondering if someone asked us about L3 there with that L2 too there. But Microsoft and then CMG a little later. So I think the one that I'm most excited for, I'd like to see what ARM has to say. They've been pretty volatile in there. And then a recent purchase of for myself is Qualcomm. So we'll wait to see what's going on over there with
ARM
Qualcomm.
and Lam, a couple of big ones, I think, for the overall market.
Definitely.
If you want to look at
ARM.
the health of the chips.
And you know what? Lam is different than ASML. ASML got hit, of course, because the Chinese are stepping into what could be the making of, was it lithography machines there for ASML, or
But I think
maybe
they're looking to do it a different way. So they wouldn't be trying. They're not trying to literally copy their machine, but
very
they're
expensive
trying to
to
accomplish the same thing.
build said machines right there. Look, man, I hope you guys are all riding with us right now. We just have an absolute monster trade on the futures. They're taking this breakout long, and there we go, man. We love trading here on Fed days. And then we also have SoFi. Look what the SoFi just did right there. It's burning to the upside here. Nice trade on SoFi, buying it off the $15 level. It's Miss Adara back at the desk.
Keep an eye on EchoStar Corporation. ECHO to the upside. Semaphore reporting that SpaceX is considering buying competitors to acquire the spectrum or competing in a government auction set for next year. Again, this is according to Semaphore. Keep an eye on ECHO. Keep an eye as well on SPCX. Again, SpaceX reportedly considering buying competitors to acquire spectrum. ECHO could be one of those targets. So ECHO as such is trading sharply higher. I also want to mention we're getting more comments here from Kevin Warsh that are of interest. These ones came a little bit earlier, but I think they're still really indicative of the way that Kevin Warsh is so carefully watching the markets and things related to the financial markets. Warsh said that, quote, if this were described as a pause, financial markets would take the other side of that. So he's saying he doesn't really want to describe today as a pause because he's worried about how the markets would react. He said that what the Fed did was a, quote, rigorous review of the economic situation and saying the job was made a little bit tougher by shocks at this juncture, quote unquote. He also says he does not believe the Fed's mandates are at war with one another. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Adara, for that. And yeah, like right now, we want to thank all 6,500 of you watching. Good number there. We have 1,000 likes. We told you guys, if you hit the like button, you have a better than 50% chance. It's about like 51% chance of your next trade becoming a winner. So hit the like button. Let's get going. We do want to thank everybody. And let's just do this right now. Everybody that's with us. We'll wait for some more news from Adara, but let's just do a quick little roll call. I want to say a shout out to everybody that's on TikTok today as well. Here's everybody that's with us. What's up, Buvin? Boom. There we go for Sharif and that Booms coming in for Buvin. We want to say thank you to Rudy as well. Everybody that's here. Brink is here. Brady Powers is here. SPX Surfer. Lindenmeyer. Shout out to Lindenmeyer calling the bottom in SpaceX. There's Ethan from TikTok. He says, woo, on that one. Ric Flair. Yo, Frog is here also. If your name is Frog and you're on TikTok, you the man. I don't know how you got that handle. That's a good one. The Great Heavy Hitter says, Apple and Google today been killing it. Congratulations on that one. And again, shout out to Irving Market, Pops Mafia, Trading Nurse. There's so many of you today in the chat, and we want to thank you for all of that. And look, if you guys were riding with me on the TQQ trade, congratulations. But I do want to bring up something here. I got out another piece. So that ran right up into 60. It stopped at 62. And I just want to show you something. I'm still looking at Apple, by the way. Here's a TQQ chart. And this is how we found that level. Pretty simple. Right there. We got this level from yesterday's high. We got it from the 15. This is a 200 period moving average on a 15-minute chart. I haven't really charted that as a support or resistance, but looks like it's matching there. It was just yesterday's high we just came into. So if we fade off of that, it would make sense. Look, don't trade blind, right? I mean, if you're going to make a decision, have it based on something. That's the one thing that like I got to get better at. You know, taking out the profit because it's there is not always the right thing to do. Sometimes you do have. Why do we have some sort of Chinese gong going on there? What's going on? Okay, here's Warsh.
Very random.
On the rate decision, I'm going to let the dissenters speak for themselves. That would be nice. I mean, we will have open mics. I don't know, Adara, when does the lift, is that almost immediately? Because there's a pause?
I've seen people speak the day after the decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have to wait and see. I haven't seen anybody on the calendar for what it's worth, but lately I find that you see a lot less of them scheduled in advance and more of them just like start talking. You're like, oh, you're talking today. So that's been kind of an interesting shift.
So we might get Trump saying Neil after all.
Trust me, you will hear from Kashkari within a couple of days. Bet. The guy's he'll be on CNBC tomorrow probably. Like
yeah, I mean, these guys got to get
no, he's a regular on
how else are they going to make
stuff.
money? They got to write books and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, getting paid.
Shout out to
There's
Clinton
no
and the
question about
Obamas.
that.
Make a lot of money there. By the way,
that's a good political, but I mean, you're a millionaire after going into office.
I just want to say something, John. Like, I don't know. We just talked about President Obama. Not that there's anything wrong with his birth certificate or anything, but John, I cannot become president, unfortunately. You know, I have been born and raised here in lovely Toronto, Ontario. Actually, I'm from Brampton, Canada. So maybe mayor of Brampton, maybe, but that's Patrick Brown. He's filing for his third term, by the way. Patrick Brown. You like Patrick Brown as a mayor?
I didn't like him at first. I like him now.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay, Patrick Brown, former Conservative member of Parliament. Patrick
What I'm also
Brown.
probably liking here is a red close on DRAM going to the short. Yeah, we're tempting fate, but here's my litmus. Qs broke highs, mags broke highs, SLV barely breaking the highs. If something didn't break the high, then that's the reversion trade, because to me, it still shows that it's relatively weak. So we haven't really broken out that top yet. SLV rode it to the top, and it's slowing down enough, but that's not a short. If anything, I think maybe a continuation long. Mags is, it might be unblocked. Let me just double check if I can throw orders on that yet. Yeah, now it's unblocked. And this is the thing for preparation. I'll be the first person to tell you. Went over and looked at Mags, and maybe people aren't trading it, but for whatever reason couldn't punch the long. Just went and got that sucker unblocked. So if it pulls back into that prior high, and again, all it was really looking at was the comments from the Fed, comments from Warsh. It's not everybody that said it. It was Warsh that said it. And to me, it's an endorsement of the Mag 7. So they did make the breakout, went to resistance, but it's pulling back now. So I want to look to see if that 70 can hold. But it's DRAM that's going to be back on my mind, because I've been looking for shorts in this thing. It hasn't quite made that turn just yet. Cheese in a chair. I see your super chat. Let's throw that one up there. More thoughts and prayers for DFNS shorts. Yep. Send your well wishes to anybody that happens to be short that stock. Maybe they're short at 60, continuing to go higher now. 140% to the upside. $61, the new high of the day for DFNS. This thing has been going ham for multiple days here, so a multi-day runner. Day 3, and it's still going. This is what a squeeze looks like. But you know what? There's a hedge fund somewhere. I bet you this. There's a hedge fund somewhere which is still shorting into this move. And the crazy thing is, they always have enough. There's always somebody that has enough money they can hold it forever. I don't know how many times we've seen that. So, eventually these come back down. Double check to see if they can file an offering, because that's probably your risk at this point.
I just wanted to say, good look on DRAM there. I'll have a look to see what it winds up doing. The market just took out the highs again. So, bless you. We're just going to keep on watching this. I mean, this has been, a good one here. It looks like the TQs will actually, it's all pretty much the same P&L for me today. SK Hynix is the same amount of money made on this, on all these shorts there, until we got blown out. Perfectly fine. Wow, to go long SK Hynix. What the hell was I thinking? We should have done that one. SoFi is about the same money as SK Hynix. And then, this is going to be position pending, but if I got out right now, it would be about the same. SpaceX is about a third of all of that. So that was okay there. We lost on Apple. We lost about half on Apple. Less than that. But what we lost there as Apple, we talked about it, right? Remember when we heard that CapEx talk? We said everything but Apple, probably. Man, sometimes we're lucky to be good and good to be lucky, I guess. And then Google was pretty much a wash. We talked about that earlier. We went long, we made it back. The problem is this initial long didn't work, so we got stopped out there. Then the short was okay until it busted, and then the long was okay until it flattened out there. So basically a flat trade on Google. But yeah, good up day there today with SoFi, SK Hynix, and then now the futures. And again, not a bad out. Just to talk about how many shares we have left, I have 12% left. So I'm going to take an opportunity. I know it's so random, right? I don't know how I do this math. I know Sharif was thinking about developing, I know Joe was too, a little program there that, calculates different ins and outs for you and things like that. And I know Sharif was talking about that for the small cap names, because he wanted to put in how much do I need to get to 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 or whatever. So more of a simple one, but working on where to get out and how to get out is definitely something that us traders are always trying to improve on, is your outs. Ins are easy. It's the outs, I feel like. But there we go. So now we have less than 10% as this is falling back in. I like to use this 25 period moving average. And if I would have got them all out once we finally broke, I wonder if my net probably would have been a little bit higher than getting it up, because then if I wait for that to break, then I don't have any of these outs too. So anyways, 62.22 is where we're at. Thank you everybody for joining us. With an hour left, Neil, myself, Adara, and I believe Sia, I'm not sure who's going to be staying late with us, but we're going to be covering Joe will be here, but we talked about it. Maybe 5 mics is a lot. All Nas needs is 1 mic. So we're going to wait to see. That was pretty good, right? We're
Yes.
going to wait to see what happens on these
All I
earnings
need is
calls.
one mic.
For me, well, first of all, Adara, let us know if there's anything happening. Did he leave the podium? Because now
He's still talking, and he goes like, yeah, I care about PCE prints, but like he doesn't want to kind of give us too much here ahead of that PCE print tomorrow. He said that it's not a perfect science, but we have a data project to separate noise from signal. He also, he said before I would have said there's a task force for that, and I'm like, well, you kind of still did by saying that, but he's mentioned the task force, I think, a total of 3 times.
has he mentioned anybody that's in the task force?
Well, we already know. I have an infographic on that. That should be there's a task force for that. I can show the task force infographic.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute to get it up.
Okay.
We already know who's
definitely
going to be
saw
in the
it.
task force. That includes former Walmart CEO Doug McMillon,
Oh, right. Okay.
current Xbox CEO Asha Sharma, and Mark Andreessen, who's also on Trump's task force, which feels kind of
Yeah, right. I remember.
ethically, but yeah, that's.
I don't know how much
who's on
money
the task
they're
force.
making in these task forces.
I do remember you talking
Once they
about
get
that, and we
paid.
commented on how young that Xbox CEO was.
Yeah, she was really young.
She was extremely young.
Good for her, man.
Yeah, good for her, exactly. But okay, so yeah, we already knew that. But there is a graphic for that. You can go find it at Trader TV Research at TTVL. Go look that up. But
So we've just
okay,
broken.
I might just get out of this market here.
Yeah, we're just broken back. There's a topping tail here. I didn't chase DRAM. Like DRAM did a topping tail as well, but kind of missed the entry, breaking the prior bar. But we'll grab it on SLV. Luis Suarez seems to think that we've missed an opportunity in DJT, but I was looking at SLV here. I want to pull back into like the initial long, which I guess I can zoom to 3-minute. Will really show you. That's this close in here when we fill that gap. Like closing prices more than we like opening prices for support and resistance. So I want to play short back into this level. It's still upward trend overall, so a reversion wants to respect that. I'm going to get the early look up just in case. I want to be abreast of anything going into the close that can catch us off guard. So right now it's 3 o'clock only. There's already, I just hit it one too many times to sort. Oracle I saw there for $2 million to the sell side. So the early look, 2.3 million sell on Oracle, and FCX 1.4 million buy, Cliff 1.1 million. So those are 3 names to track potentially for 350 on some movement. But it's early. It's just interesting to see a number that big on Oracle. It's the sell side, maybe not a surprise because Oracle is Oracle, but that's a big number for sure. But really, if Warsh is endorsing CapEx spend, do you think that would be good for him?
I don't know if that's actually what he was. I don't think. That's
I know I'm using the word endorse.
Yeah. We do have a what's up to Nick over here asking many times, and we don't mean to ignore you. But do you have an opinion, Neil, on Meta? Here it is, right here.
I didn't see it.
No, just possible Meta earnings. Do we have an opinion on Meta earnings there today? It's always hard to say like long or short.
I think the problem with Meta right now is like it's the core business isn't really what we're focused on, right? Like they're spending like a drunk. Yeah, they're spending like a drunk sailor, and it's the new ideas that they're not going to be showing traction already. They're talking about monetizing in new ways, which you're not going to already see traction there. They're talking about data center, which you're not going to see any traction and revenue from that either. So it's going to be again about the spend. I think that's kind of the issue with Meta. Like I think with Intel, it was sort of the same bag, but they've got to that CPU growth to be a part of it. And the foundry business is a forward thing, but at least they have something to lie on. So, yeah, I don't have strong opinions on Meta because I don't think that what the numbers that we get right away, like the numbers, I don't think that matters. Zuck's going to be convincing us that the spending and the new direction is the way to go.
I was actually just going to show, I agree 100%. I'm going to touch on that as well. With forward PEs and PEs right now between 19 and 21, I just think that Meta right now is at an attractive valuation. And I'll take a similar approach, but maybe just get a little bit more maybe aggressive. I think he's actually going to possibly, and I just wonder if because he's under a little bit of fire with all this spend, and we did see this really rally up there. I actually think he's going to show some monetization of the spend. And I think that they're going to come up with a number that potentially will impress Wall Street because everybody's waiting for them to say, can they make money on all of that spend? So I think Neil's probably right that they're not going to be able to rate quite yet. It's a relatively new thing when they fixed their llama and they just got that subscription model in, WhatsApp monetization, all that kind of stuff. But I actually think there's something something planned here that, if they show better margins and they do show some kind of a spend working out for them, and potentially not as much CapEx, if they do pull some back, I think Meta can get back to $700. And I know that sounds ridiculous right now because that would be like a 15 or 20% move. But Meta surprised us in the past. And it's just, I almost feel like something's coming. And it could also be completely negative on the downside. But I'm going to say that Meta, its expected move was what, 11% or something? I'm going to say it goes upside on that number. So we'll see. But remember what happened to Bloom today and many of these other names? Well, Bloom Energy, before we just got that bump up in the market, they were up 10% pre-market right after the report. They'd fallen from that. We saw Intel, a very, very similar move. BE went negative today after being up 10%.
More.
They went down like 4% or 3% or something like that at its very lows, saved by this. And look what's happening now, right? We saw Intel with a pretty aggressive beat. And this is what Intel, I don't know how aggressive it was, but this is what Intel did on their move. Up huge pre-market, just whack all the way down after their report. So yeah, maybe Meta does bump a little bit early. I just think that there's going to be a better number than what we expect from Meta. And let's hope that that is enough to push it higher. What's up at the desk?
Just be aware here, President Trump is talking about construction, so nothing market related yet, but if there is anything, I'll let you know. He's talking about Washington, so just be aware. We heard reports there was going to be this UAL Washington Dulles Airport related announcement. Thank you to an individual in the chat for telling me how to say the name of that airport. So if I see anything there, I'll keep you posted. Right now, as I look in the room, he is there with Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Looks like we could have Scott Kirby there as well. I don't know his face that well, but someone who looks like him is there. So if I get anything else, I will keep you posted. But yeah, UAL in focus, the market in focus. Warsh is still talking. I am listening to both of them and just separating the sounds within my ears. So if there are anything massive to tell you, I'll let you know. There was a question about Andreessen's presence on the task force, but Warsh responded by saying the same thing that he said when he was asked these questions about Andreessen during the Senate hearing, which is, we're going to ask these people to look at these things, but we're ultimately the ones making the decisions at the Fed. So kind of downplaying those concerns. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Dara. And in that time, what am I doing?
Thank you very much, Dara.
There's a button for that. And when we have a button for it, I'm going to press said button. But the button pressing has been at all the same prices on SLV. 52.9 long, 50 to 53.3, 53.3 short to 52.9 out. So that was the plan of action. Again, don't want to revert it further than that. I feel as if the trend has been to the upside. So first time, way too early at that price. And, again, it is what it is. You move on to the next. But I do feel like we haven't had that big time push through the highs yet. So it just feels like there's a little bit of, the market's a bit timid. Usually I'm expecting us to make a few more highs in here, and I wonder if it's not because of the earnings that are coming after the bell that has some trepidation and why we're not blasting a little bit higher. But we'll look for the next available trade. It could be MAGS. Whoops, I just typed MGAS. But MAGS, I'm thinking, could be something right back into these lows. Here's a little bottoming tail candle on MAGS.
Yeah, no, you and I think alike on this one because I just did, and we just got reloaded. I'm reloaded. Right there on the futures trade. So came back in, we bought a little bit. Let's see if we can sort of appreciate back there to the upside. It's already 3:13, so we got 45 minutes now until we give you a monster earnings report day, right? It's going to be a great evening. Well, join us. Make sure you do stay with us throughout the whole thing. We'll be talking about, we'll show you live charts just like this as Meta reports, as Microsoft reports. They're all coming through in just a matter of moments. And here it is one more time just to show you guys what you're going to be missing if you leave us. You're a shareholder in ARM, probably Robinhood. Yeah, you probably are. Meta, maybe not in Qualcomm, but Meta probably you're a shareholder as well. Starbucks, you may or may not enjoy their matcha every once in a while. And then, Microsoft, another one. So if anybody... Yeah, no one's in Fortinet. But if Microsoft, you're probably in CrowdStrike or Palo Alto, maybe. You might be in Fortinet, I shouldn't say no. But Microsoft there as well at 410. So you're definitely invested in some kind of Microsoft just because of the indexes, right? I mean, if you're invested in one of the largest holders of the indexes there, Microsoft. But I just want to show you that we did reload there. I missed that wick down to 61. That's now my stop. So worst case scenario, we'll get stopped there. I did have about a little bit on that trade. We'll we'll try to put on about half, right? We did have a nice move back up to the upside. I don't want to put on the same amount because then if we lose, then we'll be giving back too much. So let's go back over to Adara.
Keep an eye here on Nvidia. NVDA in focus. President Trump just said offhand, as we kind of already knew, that, quote, Jensen Huang is here in the Oval Office. We knew he was in Washington. We knew he was talking to people in Capitol Hill. Apparently, he's actually in the White House. Nvidia not reacting at all here, but if there's anything to tell you, I'll keep you posted. Also, Kevin Warsh continuing to be a little bit testy when asked some questions here about American families, the average American consumer. He was just asked a question here because we know that Kevin Warsh said last meeting that he only wanted to provide press conferences if there were big things to update. So this individual, this journalist, said to Fed Chair Warsh, look, you didn't really give us any forward guidance. You didn't change rates. So what was the news that warranted this press conference? And Warsh said, I guess it was news that I had a press conference. I guess that's the news. So yeah, things are getting a little tense over here from Fed Chair Kevin Warsh. He said, between now and the year end, I'm committing to press conferences this year, implying we might not get these kinds of conferences in 2027 and beyond. He also said that he's, quote, just trying to make sure that the source of information is as direct and unfiltered as possible. Very likely near the end of the Q&A period. I'll keep you guys posted. He actually just got off the podium, so he's done. Trump's still on. I am still listening to things, and I will always keep you guys posted because that's what we do at Trader TV Live.
Thank you. Thanks, Adara. No press conferences.
You're going to make a joke about, is that a banana in your pocket or,
Well, as long as it's not in the tailpipe, you're good.
Yeah, you know what the thing
phrasing,
is watch your phrasing there. I was going to say, like, regardless of whatever, okay, the press conference is now ended. I just took some out, like, what is happening? Like, I feel like Kevin Warsh is, like, channeling his inner Donald Trump over here. But anyways, we're going to get out there as he is now off the podium. So put another offer here at 47 and see what winds up happening. We're moments away, I believe, from 1. We'll be coming up with some Asian updates as well, Asian market updates. So we'll get that coming through in a matter of moments. We'll see what's going on over there. And, one of the biggest names over there recently that we talked about, of course, is SK Hynix. And, oh, man, this is like NVIDIA-like machine turn on right there. Like, that was like 128.34. This is 1 minute chart. Just straight up. That went up $9 without even thinking about pulling back. $9. Like, these are probably coded wrong. Like, these are probably green. But yeah, there it is, all the way to the upside.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get that first red candle, the actual trade, and I saw it go hard. Like, we got out right there for flat. It was once that second red candle overtakes that, that low of the first one, that's when it's go time. We didn't have any of that until there. And obviously, hindsight looking back at it, but that's the go time spot there for SK Hynix as it's pulling back just a little bit. But I don't know if you
missed that DRAM tanking.
Yeah, so I think it's the same thing.
Oh, by the way, just very quickly, because the actual biggest expected move was Fortinet on that graphic from Adara, and Fortinet is looking very strong. Like, have a look. I'm just going to put it up next to the future so you can see. There's the pullback. I know it's a 15 versus a 3, but we're still pulling back. Fortinet just tested the fresh highs. So this one is absolutely going. Cybersecurity, it's worth keeping in mind that one of the biggest events recently was that IBM, that ridiculously bad letter that came out from the IBM CEO, and he cited where money was going into, and cybersecurity was one of those places. So I expect Fortinet to be pretty wild today. Maybe people don't own them, but you probably own Palo Alto or CrowdStrike, right? So I think that does matter. Yeah, it might take the first L today in the afternoon. Should have stuck to silver and our good friend DRAM, because that's still a short. But I mean, you're shorting an uptrend is not always the way to go, but it's just that's a heavy chase. Here. That's a heavy chase. Like, it's already dropped 50 pennies.
It's like a Jamar chase.
Well, Jamar Chase is a beast.
Yeah, so that's why it's saying.
Oh, by the way, Jamar Chase probably going to catch a few extra balls this year because.
Get hurt?
No,
Higgins.
No. They lost their defensive end possibly for the year.
Oh, so you're saying it's going to be more.
Not Hendrickson, another guy, the other guy on the other side.
Okay.
So more shootouts for Cincy.
Yeah.
I'm not hating because that's one less guy to pass rush. I don't want to see anyone injured, but Josh Allen now gets a free pass against it.
Yeah, I guess that's okay. I've reversed into, so the TQs broke $60. The same thing remains. I mean, it all 61. It remains the same. Like, when these guys get off the podium, I mean, this is why we emptied out the clip. We did try a little bit of a long at that low, and then now that we've broken down below, let's now see if we do get some downside play here. The market, as is, right? I mean, sure, we got that talk from Warsh, and it seemed okay. But the market now pulling right back into sort of where we started. So yeah, maybe we do continue. Remember, the Nasdaq got green there by a lot, by about 0.5%, and now you're giving it right back. So I'm going to go short and just reverse it in right now. We'll see if we can make just as good of a trade the other way. Now short 93. I am bidding some out at 80. That was just that low. That's not broken yet. And then we'll see if we can get something out. Let's just play a little more structured here. 60-60s or so on the downside. We'll see. Stopping out 61.30. What's up, Adara?
Just be aware here, guys. Scott Kirby did just make some comments here. That's the CEO of United Airlines with President Trump. Just talking about this Dulles Airport, I guess, renovation here in Washington. There's not much of excitement to say, but I want to let you guys know if you're trading UAL, just be aware he's there. Looks like they're going to be asking questions soon at the Oval Office. So if there is anything notable said, I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you as always there, Adara, keeping us abreast. It is 3:20, so we're getting a little bit closer there. But hey, one of the entries we like, topping tails. I should have stayed with DRAM, didn't, so we'll just go back to SLV. That just failed. It's not a head and shoulders, but see that topping tail and then break the prior bar. Maybe we get into the volume weighted average price. The real mistake was not sticking with DRAM, obviously, but it's at VWAP. I don't like the short at VWAP I don't want to say anything, but to me, it's like a potential support level when you get to the volume weighted average price. So punching short at that level doesn't make sense. If this is where we stopped before for the long, I'll take a piece out and then look for a bit of a bigger gap fill as the market. Yeah, the market's really starting to come back in. Remember, it's new Fed president, but the same thing.
Oh boy!
You leave the podium, and we get a change in direction. So the short, we're taking more short. We're short before. We're going to short again, and just look for the volume weighted average price. Throw up that super chat because I'm not on that page, Andre, but I see you in there on the Rail TV. We appreciate all of our viewers, especially the super chats. If we can, is Jensen at the White House to secure the government deal or support because of the China chip? If so, could we see Nvidia rocket? America wants to win. Well, that's the next step, right? Forget about the Fed for a quick little second, but it's move past Iran and start talking about fixing things with China, because Apple wants some answers, Nvidia wants some answers. Let's be real, that is still something which is an overhang. And if Nvidia's getting nothing out of China, maybe that's what the stock is waiting for to get going again.
Definitely, that China would be an absolutely monster story. Let's just go. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I wish every day was Fed day. There is. I mean, there's the breakdown. We went. This is the easy peasy trade right there. That easy peasy always super chats. Wink, wink, easy peasy. Do you have this one? There it is. So we go long, we rack it, and then short. I mean, those are the calls right there. $1 and change more than that on the upside, and now we're 85 cents on the downside. We've taken some out on VWAP. We said we'd be a little structured. I said 60-60s. Now you're at 60-30, so we still do have a percentage on. I still have a third on right now. A third on of this trade as we start to bleed downside a little bit. Just, good coverage there at VWAP. But hey, man, you're definitely rocking with the best of us right now as Neil and I putting on some doozies here into the close. 322. What's up, Adair?
Just be aware here, guys. President Trump talking Iran, a little bit of a spike here in USO, so I wanted to mention President Trump saying on Iran, quote, "We will hit them hard. It's our turn to hit them." So more strikes once again being indicated. Furthermore, he's also saying that, quote, "We'll see if we can get there on the Iran deal." So unclear, again, if we're looking for conflict or if we're looking for negotiations. Either way, right now, the USO looking to go a little bit higher. We've got about 35 minutes until these pre-market or post-market earnings kick off. Back to you.
We're looking for a resolution, and you're looking for negotiations, but it looks like we're getting more conflict. So USO with a little bit of a bounce, but that is what it is. No questions asked. So, the flip right about the market flipped at about 305 or so. So I'm expecting just a retrace. We're still inside range. So I'm expecting don't do anything crazy outside of the range. So I want to look at that 52.5 that we broke out there for SLV, and hopefully the second short just a little bit better than the first we had. But the reversal is a reversal. About 20 minutes ago, the market just took a turn and it hasn't stopped.
Yeah, man, as soon as that man lifted from...
It was before he lifted the podium.
Yeah, it was just before. So good look there. We asked Adair, when are these guys going to be off? I'm still bidding lower. What's up, Easy Peasy? I see this man over here. There it is, man. 2%. Sean's reversals. Wow. Thank you so much. Those were, so far today, good ideas. There it is. Added a Sean emoji, rotating reversal signal to print money preview. Yeah, reverse the reversal. So yeah, I mean, it was just easy, right? Like, if we're gonna go long on a break, the minute it breaks down, we take the short, right? And so this is why I'm saying, like, some days it's great, some days it's not. You know, you gotta make sure that when you're right, you're making that money, and when you're not losing as much, right? And so right into there, good play to the downside. And yeah, we're here. We'll just keep on trading. Like I said, Joe and I will be generally, you know, Neil trades more silver, obviously, than the rest of us. And I look at the futures, and we'll trade IBIT, and we'll trade, you know, equities, obviously. And easy peasy, you've been here now probably for a couple of years. You definitely know what's good around here. So I want to say thank you to everything. And easy peasy was making a program that would basically mimic, I think, what I was doing. So I don't know, Easy, if that's true or not. And if it is, I hope it's making you a little bit of money, because you never know. SK Hynix there, obviously, as the machines get turned on, they easily get turned off. So that's exactly what's happened there for SK Hynix. You know, weakness in the market, they come for this name. Strength in the market, they come for this name. And this was one of my top P&Ls, although right now, with the fact that the TQs is making this move. But there it is, like that. This was a good one. We went short SK Hynix off of VWAP. And then we were covering. Then we took another shot there at 130-150. Once it broke higher, we stopped out, got away from it. Now it's coming back in. And there we go. We are now $1. We are $1.50 one way, and now we're $1 the other way onto the short side of things. So yeah, we're both short silver, short the market. And you know, with SoFi, we have nothing left. I have like less than 1% left of SoFi. That came right back up to here. We told you we emptied the clip there. We were able to do it again on this 25 period break. We got out. So right now, I'm just going to end the trade on SoFi and just call it a day here. And we'll just move off of it, because I'm really trying to focus here on this move down, epic move down actually, in the market again. Now you're down 1%. So Warsh go bye-bye. Market say see you later as well, as there it is, man, $1.10 the other way. So that's about 270 or so just on the TQs alone, with good trading there with SLV. And hopefully you guys are also able to rack up a little bit there in the chat.
Cheese in a chair here. Oh, it's up on. I'm taking my FOMC chop gains and going back to kicking SpaceX like Dave Chappelle and his girlfriend in the Keeping It Real bar beatdown scene.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, okay, no. Okay, now I remember. Okay.
Chappelle show, or?
Yeah, it's that's not that was an okay episode. That's like in the bottom quartile. All the sketches are great, but I had to think about that one for a split second. When Keeping It Real goes wrong, and
when Keeping It Real goes wrong, yeah. There's a couple good examples on that one.
No, the best.
I still
Keeping
like the real
Mad Real World.
Yeah, Mad Real World. I was gonna say Real Housewives, but that was before.
Look at me, America. Look how Tron is living.
Those are funny ones, man. Or the reparations one there. That's also a good one there.
The draft, the racial draft.
Yeah, and if KFC became like the world's largest company or
Fubu. Sorry.
Yeah, those were really good ones, man.
You know you've been looking at the markets too long when you're calling Fubu Fubo.
Yes.
I feel like anybody cares about that. No, but I'm assuming SpaceX is doing bad things right now. SpaceX bad? Oh yeah,
probably
SpaceX.
Not good things.
Almost back down to Lindenmeyer's 111 level there. So yeah, SpaceX, it's not over. Like everybody, you got a reprieve yesterday, but it's not over. See, remember it couldn't break 119. No 119 break. No love for SpaceX. I think we have a decent chance to be retesting some of those lows. And then you got the earnings next week. You got the lockup after that. There's a lot that they have to navigate through as SpaceX comes. I was about to say crashing down, but I hate using a crashing analogy when I never want them to fail. Remember, like the chart is the chart and the trend is the trend, but I don't want SpaceX to fail ever. We got Trump on the Fed. Kevin is fantastic, but he's got a board. Oh, yeah. Right. Like he has to listen to. I'm assuming that's what he means. He has to listen to.
Yeah, like he's not. It's not his decision.
It's not his decision alone.
Yeah, he's just the leader of the pack.
Say something about Crash Card.
Yeah, we'll see. He might start talking again. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It is everybody's favorite segment.
Before we go back to the desk, we're catching a little bit of a bid here, it seems. I don't know what you're seeing.
I mean, yeah, I've already covered. I have, again, 15% left of this trade. But yeah, maybe we are catching a little bit of a bid. I think you just want to stay away now. I mean, you know, the market's made its move. We're now a half hour away from like major earnings. So I could see the market sort of drifting around a little bit here, but forget about what we have to say. Let's go hear what one has to say about the Asian markets.
Yeah, once again here, you said President Trump, that's all he said so far about Warsh, just reiterating that he's fantastic, but he's got aboard pretty much the same thing he said before the Fed decision a couple days ago. But either way, also of note is what's happening in the Asian markets, because you know SK Hynix earnings happened last night. That was a big shock for the Asian markets, but what are they expected to do today? Here to take us through that is One.
Thank you, Adara. So Asian markets trading pretty much mixed on Wednesday night. Hang Seng and Shanghai Composite posted some modest gains, while the Nikkei as well as the KOSPI definitely fell due to some AI valuation concerns. First up, let's take a look at South Korea. KOSPI down by nearly 6%. I mean, they triggered back-to-back circuit breakers in the past 2 days, hitting also an intraday low, nearly 12% downside. And, you know, some institutional block buying establishing a late floor. So that 6% could have been worse. And yeah, you mentioned SK Hynix. They're down in Asia by nearly 10% because of those reported earnings that really missed expectations. There's a lot of fear right now that chip CapEx is outpacing that of short-term profitability. You know, apart from that, Samsung Electronics, they were also down by more than 5% in South Korea. If we head over to the Japanese market, the Nikkei 225, they were down by nearly 1.5%. Of course, major news coming out there was a 7.5 magnitude earthquake that added a lot of uncertainty ahead of the Bank of Japan's rate call decision. So my condolences to those affected by the earthquake in Japan. But apart from that, other memory names as well as tech names that went down in Japan, Kyokusa Holdings down by nearly 14%, Tokyo Electron down by nearly about 10.6%, and also SoftBank Group down by 7%. On the upside though, in Hong Kong, the Hang Seng up by nearly 2%, their highest level in about 8 weeks. There's a lot of investor sentiment supported by reports that their fast fashion giant Shein, they're going to be targeting a Hong Kong IPO at a valuation of about 40 to 50 billion US dollars. So other names that were quite high in Hong Kong included Tencent. They were up by more than 4%. Xiaomi was up by 9%, as well as Meituan up by 2%. So what should we focus on at the open for Asia? All right, so of course, that Fed policy decision. Keep an eye out on global futures ahead of the Asian Open, you know, with US rates holding steady at around 3.75%. Keep an eye on the policy text for future rate cut hints, as well as, you know, some hawkish dissent that you mentioned earlier that could trigger some automated risk off across Asian currencies. Of course, Bank of Japan interest rates, that verdict coming up tomorrow as well. They could face quite a challenging session tomorrow because they've got to balance out between, you know, the core inflation against also the damage coming in from that earthquake. So watch if that yen breaks 163.5, and that could also impact that of export-heavy sectors such as auto and machinery. And then finally, South Korea, the KOSPI, they're really in the dirt right now. I mean, watch that open extensively, all right? Following those 2 days consecutive circuit breakers, see if there's any state-backed stabilization that could inject a little bit of liquidity, you know, to defend that 5,600 floor. But if not, there might be some margin calls that force a deeper gap down in the South Korean KOSPI. So hopefully, you know, they can recover in the following days.
Yeah, lots to focus on here, guys, for the Asian market and the European market. Join us with One to talk about the European and Asian markets 11:30 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. respectively every day. Also, I'm just seeing apparently Treasury 30-year yield topping 5.2% for the first time since 2007 as the NASDAQ continues its jaunt back to the downside. Back to you.
I'm just going to do this.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's funny, you basically read my mind that, wow, I mean, this is now, we were $1.50 upside, didn't think we'd get $1.50 downside, $3 right here. I did want to show you the 20-year Treasury, and it's funny you just mentioned it, because I had thought that it was like a dovish hold rate, but, you know, the TLT, as Adair just mentioned, is going the other way. So, you know, as there's an expectation now for the next rate cut, and we can actually call it out, or the next rate decision must be a raise at this point. Definitely bleeding to the downside. There's
yeah,
a TLT.
I didn't even check that.
You generally do not see this kind of a movement to the downside. So like all of your cash and cash equivalents now are becoming worth a little bit more money as we sit on, yes?
Sorry, 98% chance of a hike, sorry, what am I seeing? Let me make sure what I'm seeing. I'm thought this was, okay, Kurt, no. Sorry, 98% chance of a hold. 98% chance of a hold, only 1% chance of a hike.
Show up what do you have.
So these chances here of a hike have actually gone down, which is pretty interesting. That was for the July meeting in September. Yeah, September, we're seeing about 50-50 here. Yeah. That's my bad. That was the July meeting for some reason. September, about 50% chance of a hike. There's actually, again, just under 1% chance of a 50 basis point hike. So very likely you get that 25 basis point hike in September.
Well, I'll take that one step further. I just got out on the bid. I mean, obviously everything is tanking, but just to take it one step further, go out to December, and what you're going to find is there's a 36% chance that we've gotten a couple of basis points, and 0.6% that you've got 3. So, and then you keep on going forward, it just gets higher and higher. It looks like we could be in a raising rate environment there. Oh, we did miss a super chat. I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay, that's Adid. I think is this the same one from this morning? I think this, Ridge Tech, right? Should I hold for 1 or 2 days? Had bought it just yesterday and today at 108 for 9K. If memory serves,
$9K.
Okay, so this this is the same one. I think like traders are not here to give you financial advice. What I would say is for anybody, and this is probably echoing what Sean was talking about.
I said it this morning earlier.
Before you get into position in anything, you should have an idea where your out is going to be. Like, what does it mean to be wrong? This is obviously a small cap I know zero about that's down 30% that literally just broke 120. So if you're long underneath where it broke down and then it's also lost $1, it's lost multiple layers of support. For me, I've never traded a small cap in my life that I didn't have a hard stop on. And typically it would be at a floor like that or at $1, but you've just got to decide. You just have to decide before you get into the trade where your out is going to be. But to me, it's already lost major support, and there's nothing, like, you have to have some kind of a ridiculous fundamental reason to like this stock. I know nothing about it. It is absolutely bleeding today. And the talk was once it does a flat bottom break, you're long in front of support. And when it breaks, unfortunately, it goes down. But, you know, if you're long at 108, you haven't lost everything. You just have to have some semblance of where you want your out to be. It could be 25%, it could be 30%, it could be a support level. Once it's gone, these things do not have floors. I started my career as a penny stock trader, and that was one of the first things you learn if you trade penny stocks is the only realistic floor on a penny stock is 0 or delisted. It goes for all of them. And you really have to ask yourself when it gets under $1, like, are you willing to lose everything? Again, I'm not saying anything that wasn't said this morning, Sean. So.
No. I think that's right. I mean, we talked about that earlier. Like once it broke that level, it was a little bit of a risky business to be in that one. But hey, everybody else to each their own. Like, oh man, if a $9,000 hit was the only thing you had to worry about, maybe you probably put a little bit too much in there. But good luck, and hopefully it does bounce over the next coming days. About this market. Flip game strong, basically. Shut easy peasy. I mean, easy peasy. If you're still in this trade, man, you owe us more money, my guy. Hey, guys, what's up with Battle? More power to the Neils.
Well, oil went.
Multiple Neils.
Yeah, oil went up.
There.
No, we don't like crash car.
This is now really tanking here. Like, I don't, we'll have to wait to see. Tomorrow's going to be pretty brutal, I think. Sometimes we get a comeback. Well, you know what? First of all, it's major earnings. Join us tonight as we're going to go over everything.
Everything changes at 4.
Yeah, you don't even have to stay anything past 4:10. Like that's going to be Microsoft, and we'll analyze it all. We'll have them all for you. So I shouldn't say the market's going to be disastrous tomorrow, but this is not a great look. And as we just mentioned, man, with rates where they are, at those highs. Adara sort of indicated that to us as well. You see what the TLT is doing. It is an absolute tank city. The DXY, which I don't think we have on our platform right over here, that's trying to make its movement back up to the upside recently as well. As we had that huge move, now back upside. Actually, it's not even the dollar that's reacting. I thought it would have been bigger than that. It's just this overall extension in the bond market, right? Here's the treasury yields to the downside. So you just got to be careful here. As yields go higher, price goes down. That's how it works. I guess I probably don't need to tell you guys that, but that's how it works. And if you're looking right now, that's what's happening here. Price yields are going higher, on the 10-year, and this is a 20-year. So naturally, you're going to see this kind of a continuation in the market, and it kind of does suck. So there it goes. The price of the TLTs to the downside right there, as you're paying less for it as yields are going higher. So TLT, nice downside play there, really leading this whole market downside in what's been a pretty eventful afternoon.
You can only ignore rates for so long.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about battle.
Well, I don't know that there's that much to say. USO is up 7%, so battle's up. I'm just gonna put it in perspective. It's making a bit of a break, but usually when oil is spiking, this little small capper with a big float, short float, does a little bit more than this. The big spikes, look at this, from 120 to 240, from $1.20 to 280. Today, it's gotten to $1.50 in the 50 period. So what it seems like is happening is every time this seems to spike because oil goes up, it's not going as far and it's putting in lower highs. So it's running out of juice a little bit. I don't wonder if maybe there's something better in the small cap space that could be running. I know Vivek didn't really do much today. I know Sky Q, Sky Quarry. None of these small cappers on these moves are doing much more than they were before. They're all making fresh. It's crazy because the move up and the gap and continuation is actually pretty good in USO. I just think they're running out of juice a little bit. It doesn't mean they're not good, but they're just not doing what they were before. Trump, I'd like Congress to add Iran tariffs in Russia sanction bill. Okay, well, I mean, reasons for USO to go higher. Not really there. Nick Dubs, I really like UiPath long term and it's very reasonable, but I see it retracing to 1094 before bouncing, referencing the 30-minute. That is oddly specific because 1094 is not your 100-meter time. You're just trying to say exactly where this is going to be bouncing whoops. And of course, I'm literally seeing it.
Lindenmayer.
It's at 111, isn't it?
We haven't talked about SpaceX in a minute.
It's at 111.
It just broke to 111. It just literally held that exact price. How are you picking out these 111.11s and everything like that? I mean,
what's the significance of that price?
It's literally what I'm asking. So hopefully he can let us know. I think it's just a random price, but there has to be something to it, right? It's not that it's held. I mean, it just held 111 twice. The low of the day is 111.02, but. Yeah, there's a huge move down in SpaceX, honestly. Sort of ignored what was going on there today. It's been, I traded SpaceX and it was a short, wish we was still in it, but we weren't thinking about that up there, which is all that really matters. But yeah, we'll see if it winds up holding again. Great call there, Lyndon Meyer, and that's downside as well, let alone what's going on with probably, and we haven't even looked over here yet, AMD, yuck, now down 5%. I mean, let's go over the broader market just real quickly. And then we'll get over it. Dara's got money talks. We've got a few of crypto. Where did Sia go? Is she still back there? Okay, well, we'll wait to see there. She comes normally with some of these updates. But there we go. Nvidia down 2.6%. Google, Amazon, Meta. It's very red. Like most of the time we're like, oh, don't look over here, but at least there's something over here. But today, healthcare technology, Google. Like everything, health technology downside there today. Eli Lilly, J&J, taking it on the chin, but not really for J&J 265. We still like that stock there as well. The bank stocks today, wow, Joseph, 3% now and more for JP Morgan, but it's okay. Goldman Sachs down 5%. I mean, these stocks are on epic runs, right?
They wanted a rate hike, man.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You got to be a little bit calmed down. I think we could buy some of those weaknesses. The producer side of things, I've liked Caterpillar. I put that in the JP Morgan. Good job, man. This guy sold some yesterday, JP Morgan. I think Joe's 30-40% cash. He talks about that all the time. There's Caterpillar, so that's a good trade, Joe. Caterpillar down 7%, a name that I really like recently, so we'll have to see. That got downgraded today, Caterpillar. So, if you're going to look for some strength, we already talked about the move that's happened in USO today. So you're going to get XOM, Valero, EOG, FANG, Occidental, all of these names still doing okay on the risk reward side of things there for oil. So yeah, not too bad as we try to look forward instead of looking back. What's going to be good moving forward, and you're now 15 minutes away from major earnings, which are going to shape what tomorrow's trade looks like. I'm now $2.40 now in the money on this short, and we talked about the flip game there. I put a stop at 59, but maybe we can use same kind of a stop right there. Okay, so I was going to use this little top wick there, 59.10, as our stop, but this is getting a hell of a lot worse. Pardon my French, and as that just
it's getting way worse.
Making new lows now, down 1.6% now for the TQQs. Wow, nastiness. Spilling over here.
It's nasty, and the answer I'm not gonna give you a chance to say no, because the market's dropping. Obviously, you see that short going down for the Qs. But we have earnings after the bell. I can't put them all in here, so we're gonna vote again. And if you don't know what we're doing, all you have to do is jump into the chat by hitting subscribe and type a number corresponding to one of these names. Who are you riding with? Just pick one. You don't actually have to buy the stock. Type 1 for Meta, type 2 for Microsoft, type 3 for Lam, type 4 for ARM, type 5 for Qualcomm. And there is no other option. You don't get to pick, whatever. There's no Fortinet in here. There's no Carvana. I don't want to have 10 things in the poll. So those are the names we're going to go with. And I do suspect that Microsoft might get some love. I'm going to throw down there because Microsoft's been beaten up. Software is getting a little bit of a comeback in there. And hey, the Fed chair just seemed to say that CapEx spending could be leading to some good things. Who doesn't get any love is Lam. Anyone know who Lam is? Do you know who Lam is? Only one vote. It's a pretty good company. Yay!
There's a lamb? Or is that a goat? You already got.
Well, it's supposed to be a goat, but it's actually no. Hit it again. That's a sheep.
Bah, bah.
It's look at that's a sheep.
Don't goats like yell and scream and all that? Is it could be a little bit
as well, Sean?
Okay.
To be perfectly honest, what exactly does that even? What exactly does that say?
I don't really know why over there, but
it had to do with something like some of the UAW union strikes going back to 2023, I believe, and then or 2024, I think it was 2023, and then the endorsements of certain political parties in the 2024 election. That's more, I think, what he was upset about.
That's hilarious. I'm just gonna go. New position alert. Lyndon Meyer. We're gonna go long 111.10s right now on SpaceX. So let's see if we get a little bit of a bump here. Now remember, there is only 3 minutes until the imbalances. So once these, wow, Oracle's a sell, eh? Okay. So once these come out, everything's going to change for this. I did hear, Dare, you may want to look this up. SpaceX awarded some sort of a contract, which is actually why I went long. Nothing to do with the 111 lows, but heard that they received a $1.6 billion contract there, I think from the Space Force. Department of, is it called Space Force? I think it is. So have a look and see if you can find a story there. May not be accurate. I'm going to stop out at 110. I put it in at 110.80. So I'm only willing to give this thing 30 cents. Obviously with these imbalances coming, I don't want to be anything responsible for this. Oh, here it comes back in. So, I hear defense contract, SpaceX. So I went long. It was really that simple, but we're only long a small piece here. It looks like it's going to fall out again. I remember taking SpaceX one day when it had a story up there and it looked like it was breaking 130. We took that for a minute and then here it comes. And then it absolutely tanked. So
I want to make a reminder.
Okay.
It was the flip trade that was good on SpaceX.
It was the way down.
It was an imbalance on SpaceX.
Yeah, we hit that.
And there was a reversal at 355 on SpaceX. So it was really good yesterday. I think it was yesterday, right?
Yeah. We waited for it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
We just got stopped out of it anyways. So a little small hit there on SpaceX, but definitely hit anyways. Maybe that story was not what I heard.
So with 2 minutes to go, it's still Oracle 2.2 million sell, FCX 1.5 million early look sell, EWY is a buy of 100,000, and that is pretty much it of the names that a stock sell in there for a small buy of 660,000. Again, we'll see in about 1.5 minutes what they really are.
So the SpaceX thing, I'm seeing apparently Reuters reported it. I'm not seeing anything on Benzinga yet, nor am I seeing it on my main X feed. But when I search those keywords, I'm seeing a smattering of headlines with very few views, again, suggesting, according to Reuters, which I haven't seen Reuters post this yet, I'll keep you guys posted, but according to Reuters, SpaceX reportedly being awarded a $1.6 billion contract from Space Force for 18 Falcon 9 missions that will launch military targeting satellites. That's the story. If I get more details, anything more concrete than that, I'll let you know.
1.6 billion.
I had everything right except for the long. It was not a long.
But the story was correct.
But the story was correct. Yeah, so, reported from Reuters. So we'll see.
But that's not a lot of money. Well,
no,
I mean, look,
SpaceX loses that much money a day in market cap.
It's a lot of money, but relative to $1 trillion valuation, it's not a lot of money.
Right.
Don't at me when Neil says a $1.6 billion isn't a lot of money. Everything is relative. If you're, what's that small capper that was running, DFNS? Like those guys get a contract. I don't even know what they do. It doesn't matter. Those guys get a contract for $1 million, and it's probably a huge deal.
Shorted space.
By the way, DFNS did pull back. So 60 was the high. So we prayed for the shorts, and the shorts got their reprieve. It pulled back into 44. But you know what? This is 3 days in a row of sort of blast off. It does eventually turn around, but a good day for the small cappers. At least that one. So with 10 seconds, just maybe more than that.
T-minus, 10 seconds. The Falcon 9 liftoff going to be happening very, very soon for SpaceX, and maybe not, as we have 5 seconds left.
Sure it is.
And SpaceX is now at the low of the day, down 5%, and the Lindenmayer level right now in question. Okay, here it is right now. It's Nvidia with a sell. It's SpaceX with, I don't know, not doing much. Let's go check out what Nvidia is doing. Nothing again, but that's a sell over there. Fortinet with earnings coming. Nothing going on there, up 1.8%. Watch out for that name. Later on, CRM. Netflix with a sell, $73. Nice little bounce back there for Netflix. I liked it, Intel at 80, not liked it, but we looked at 86 bucks today. Didn't trade off of that though, maybe should have. Other than that, man, I'm not seeing anything else that's on here. That's
SpaceX was 990 shares buy side.
990 shares.
Now it's 13,000.
Did I put an order in by accident?
That was like, no, I was
990.
going to say, it's about as small as possible. So no imbalance there. Oracle's came out as 10,000 shares. So it was 2 point on the early look, came out as 10,000. The market only 750,000 to the sell side. NASDAQ 1.3. The NASDAQ 1.3 billion. The Mag 7 only 233 million. Must be a buy on one of the Mag 7 names. Fortinet with $1 million sell, and that's an earnings name here. Actually, the biggest expected move on our board is Fortinet, believe it or not. It was 12%, I believe, for FTNT. I think they're at 405 or 410. Not one of the biggest names that's reporting tonight, but cybersecurity has been a bit of a theme. And Fortinet has, let's just say it's been on a little bit of a run going into this print, right? Like from May, the stock almost doubled, almost exactly a double up, pulling back into the 50 period. So cybersecurity has been a fantastic theme. Can these guys hold on to the bid? You know, I don't like them as much given how much, there's some downside on that thing. When you look at the daily chart, it doesn't really look as good there. You kind of worry about how the punishment that's been happening to basically every earnings name, regardless of report.
Yep. And we'll look. We have some big names reporting here after hours. I'm just going to put out right here. I'm just going to stop out at the top of this the top of the current candle right there, 58.50. It could reverse. We've seen the Uno reverse card be played on imbalances, and we talked about that before with SpaceX and everything. So if it does continue to move down, that's where my stop is. We'll pay attention to that in a couple minutes and see if we do get stopped out. All right, man. It's Microsoft coming through with earnings. I guess, it's going to look pretty much, man, the market we're now $3 in. The market's really bleeding out now, honestly. They did not like it, man. The market got washed today. I think that's more, it didn't get washed, it got washed. Like, that's a downside play there. President Trump may fire Kevin Warsh even before, and I don't even know if he did anything, but he may be unemployed as of tomorrow.
He was hawkish.
I know, but I'm saying if the president comes through and sees this number in the Dow, he might not like it. Okay, so is the Dow probably hit too. Yeah, the ES down 1.3%.
There's no way the Dow is up.
No, nothing's up right now. But there's Microsoft to the downside. They're coming with earnings. And, this is going to be interesting. Microsoft, actually, I thought if we could hold this 50 period, and I know the 50 period doesn't mean anything, it's earnings, so we'll see where it goes. But, good recovery day. Look, everyone knows earnings are coming, so the fact that we had a little bit of a bump makes some sense there for Microsoft. I still think they can beat. I think they're going to put up a better Copilot number. I think Microsoft will be one of those names that shows us that monetization's here. And I know Sharif hates Sam Altman and everything like that, but we'll wait to see if Copilot and OpenAI and all that can make a little bit of money there. He definitely hasn't been treated that well in the media lately.
Well, it turns out that OpenAI hack was worse than they originally said. There was another company that was also involved in that. Well, not involved, but another company that got hacked. Not as seriously as Hugging Bear, but
this is absolutely ridiculous that we should have. It's so stupid of myself because when it went to 640 right there, I was like, bruh, These are outs on Meta. Then it goes to 680, and we're like, wow, man, we're glad we didn't get out there. Now down to 580 right there for Meta, as if the comeback was not real on Meta. Let's see if it does give some love tonight to META. I think they can beat. Maybe this is just my bullish overall attitude in the market right now, just for these names, right? I mean, I think the market overall is a short. You can see that we're playing short. But Meta, I think, can do better. Like, this is now just absolutely crushed. That's down $100 in about 2 weeks, straight downside for Meta. So the market doesn't seem to think they're going to beat. But I'm going to take that super chat that we had that one time that said when there's sort of blood in the streets, maybe it's time to mix it up a little bit. So we'll see if Meta can do something there.
Well, according to our viewers, I don't know, like I voted Microsoft, but I feel like that's now turned into chalk. 40% of our viewers chose Microsoft. We got a second sympathy vote for Lamb. Not a lot of votes for ARM.
The market just took another leg lower.
QCOM, but it is Microsoft and Meta are the overwhelming favorites. What's interesting about that is I bet you if you look up the PE, like Qualcomm's probably the best value there. ARM been cut in half, but 355 hit, so a lot of things probably paired off on the imbalances. Amazon, no, actually something showed up. Amazon was not there before. Now it's a sell of 1.4 million. Apple wasn't there before. Now it's a sell of 1.8 million. Nvidia wasn't there before. Now it's a sell of 3 million.
No, Nvidia was there.
It was, but it wasn't 3 million. Intel, 2 million to the sell side. These were not that big, for sure. Let's be real. That's pretty nasty. So sell imbalances across the board, with the exception of, all the mix-up names I just saw there. Easy peasy, thank you for the super chat. I coded you as Fade Pops exists. Penny stocks. When they show up, you got to be very careful if you're pop and fading. I don't do that on those crazy ballistic stocks. DJT, sure.
DJT, yeah.
Yeah, like DJT, like there's certain times you can find a good pop and fade. Like when we were trading today, like silver was a short, DRAM was a short. Did you see me short a single one of those big time gappers? I don't do that. Like when I was a penny stock trader, I was like mostly long back in the day because it's not an easy thing to do, but like you're mostly long when you can find the opportunities when they are in play. But yeah, I do like pop and fade when you can find it. But should have probably we did find silver, but I didn't get back into DRAM. That's the one that'll suck. But yeah, the interesting thing is I didn't think Microsoft was going to be chalk when I was picking it. I really thought people might be voting for putting some votes in for Qualcomm and ARM.
It's a good time to be sitting on cash, regardless of where you voted, I feel like, right now, because there's going to be some dip buy opportunities. You're seeing them in Intel, you're seeing them in Google off of their reports, and then now today you get to pick, and Tesla. So you're going to get to pick and choose what Mag 7 names you want on discount because it's getting nasty out there. We just covered right there on, we have Qualcomm coming. I like Qualcomm.
Who's first?
It's going to be one. They're all the same. I think there's a bunch of them. The latest one is Microsoft, but it's Meta. Here, I have it up on.
I thought it was Softy first.
Oh, with Adara. Yeah, it is. Softy's coming first as well. Carvana's 405. Okay, where is it? Here it is right here.
Oh, no,
that's
Meta.
Tomorrow. My bad.
It's Meta.
It's Meta. Okay, that's what I was saying. I thought because Meta fooled us one time before. I can't stay that late if it happens again. I got to get out of here. There's Meta at 4. There's Qualcomm at 4. 405. So you're going to get them all. The latest one's 410. So regardless of where, these are the expected times. They've been wrong before. All right, Neil and I got to flip over. So I don't know if one is. Oh, Sia's back. Okay,
we got Sia there.
All right, so Sia and Adara, you guys let us know when you're ready. But Neil and I got to flip over and get our flip game set up.
Turn around, get on the screen.
Let's do that. We covered the TQs. I'm flat right now. Thanks, everybody. Stay tuned for earnings. A major earnings. Today was sort of the Super Bowl for Fed. You're about to get sort of first Q right now, first quarter major. Well, maybe the second quarter.
We're not going in there strong either.
No, this is we're like the Atlanta Falcons, where we had a big lead at one point, but we can sense the Patriots coming right back behind us on our Super Bowl right now. It almost feels like the Patriots have caught us already. But all right, I don't know why we're still talking. Let's throw it back there. We got to turn around and get this all figured out. We'll see you in 5 minutes or less.
1 minute.
Yeah, let's talk here about some of these earnings. I'm just going to go through X here just to kind of give you guys a sense of some of these earnings that are going to be on watch. We just had this reposted here in X at TTV Research. Qualcomm. Let's take a look at what we're expecting from Qualcomm because they're coming out at 4 p.m. sharp alongside Meta. Last quarter, we actually had a decline in sales here on a year-over-year basis. This quarter, $9.71 billion here, revenue estimate for Q3 2026. EPS estimate $2.20. Got a couple minutes here until the bell. So let's take a look at what we're expecting from Meta, because META, another one alongside Qualcomm, that's going to be coming out here bright and early at 4 p.m. Eastern. We post a lot, guys, so we're just going to scroll as we look for that META earnings preview, which was released this morning, because we like to give you guys a lot of notice before these earnings reports. So Meta also expected right at 4 p.m. $60.18 billion. Here's the revenue estimate, $7.13 $7.13 is the EPS estimate. We're seconds away here from that closing bell. Last quarter, though, unlike Qualcomm, you actually had growth and strong growth for Meta on a year-over-year basis, up 33% year-over-year for those sales. So excited to take you guys through these numbers. I'm going to get set up here so that I can pull up these numbers for you live on Benzinga, live on X. Anything that I see, I'll keep you guys posted. At this point, we are, I think, just a couple seconds away here, 13 seconds away from closing bell. We're brought to you by our friends at VinFast. Let's drive right into that earnings segment. And thanks again to VinFast for their sponsorship of the show. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I expect the earnings floodgates to be opening, so I'm going to keep you guys posted here on keeping this open. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what shakes out. How are you guys doing over here? Neil and Sean, are you set up? Are we ready to go? I'm going to be looking here for Qualcomm and Meta first. I actually already have Qualcomm earnings. So let's talk here about Qualcomm, guys. QCOM and Focus. Q3 EPS missed $2.21 versus $2.23 expected. Sales beat $9.947 billion above estimates of $9.668 billion. Q4 guidance, because they just posted Q3 2026. Q4 guidance, adjusted EPS 205 to 225, well below estimates of 236. Sales guidance here for Qualcomm, 9.7 billion to 10.5 billion, mostly below estimates here of 10.018 billion. So miss here for guidance. Beat on revenue, but miss on EPS. So mixed, but mostly bad report for Qualcomm, guys.
It's going up.
Dripping, so
it
we
doesn't
like
matter.
Qualcomm. We like Qualcomm.
That's the thing about value. If you get a decent valuation, you're headed to the upside. But Meta's going in the other direction, unfortunately. Meta is getting wrecked.
561 and change for Meta, having a heart attack. 562, Meta downside. There we go, man. Joe, you switched from Google to Meta, man. That might have been a bad play.
Got a problem.
There goes Meta to the downside. We'll see. We've seen it battle back. We'll wait for some of those earnings to come through. But there's Meta right now, downside. I just heard Microsoft in my ear. Oh, yes. We said we like the Microsoft. Go Softy right there. We have that pick as well. Yeah, you're right, Adara. This is supposed to be 410 there for Microsoft. They're out early right now, 402. Microsoft looks like the one that's going to work out for us here to the upside. It's Microsoft, it's Meta, and it's earnings palooza. Meta, you don't want to be a shareholder right now, but Microsoft, you do. Adara, what you got for us?
Qualcomm going up is still odd as we get more comments here from management. Unprecedented increases in memory pricing, supply constraints made cyclical headwinds for global smartphone industry in fiscal 2026. That's not a great look for Qualcomm. Still looking here for Meta and Softy.
Just the top and bottom.
Qualcomm getting killed.
Their EPS 481 versus 424 for Microsoft.
Softy, let's
big
go.
beat on EPS, beat on revenue as well. I don't see any guidance yet, but big beats over there. Let's go back to it, Dara. Softy through 400 through 405 as well.
Generally, we don't get Microsoft until their earnings call when it comes to guidance, but you did get revenue 18% increase year over year. Operating income also up 18% year over year. Let's see what we get here for Azure. Azure revenue surpassed $100 billion for the first time for fiscal 2026.
Meta's guide is bad.
It's the fiscal quarter. Apparently bad guidance for Meta. So we'll look at that in a second here. Let's see Azure, what kind of cloud we got as we look here. 43% year over year growth for Azure. That's pretty good for Microsoft. I've got Meta, guys. META coming out. We'll go over this right this second. Meta EPS 618, well below 714 last year, and also below 721. That's a big EPS miss for Meta. Sales here for Meta.
I mean, where's Meta on the daily?
Billion versus 60.2 billion expected. So slight revenue beat. Big miss here for EPS. Q3 guidance for Meta. Revenue guidance 61 billion to 64 billion versus estimates of 63.17 billion. Mostly a bad report here for Meta.
On the daily, Meta is literally at support.
I have it up here on the chart if you want to come over here. Right here at support. I was going to say maybe Brendan or Adara, if we can get the numbers on the screen, I think that's almost more effective than Adara reading them. But yeah, take your time, Adara. It looks like Meta right now down 8.5%, but at a daily level that we like. So we can check that out with Meta. And then just a quick look as we go back to Microsoft here.
CapEx.
Nice report for Microsoft, right?
Yes.
They were down there. Now you're up 4%. Microsoft kicking out 408. And look, the best part about Microsoft is, if I can find my mouse, would be that we are taking out some of these day highs right there. So we're taking out some highs on the daily chart. Let's see if Microsoft can climb through. But yeah, the story today is going to be Meta. I think we're going to be talking about that for a while. Down to 540 right now, Adara.
Yeah, let's talk about Meta's CapEx. I did put it here on the screen. We'll get more into it here. So for META, you've got CapEx of note $130 billion to $145 billion is their guidance for fiscal 2026 CapEx.
Yeah, what the
That
hell?
is above their prior outlook of 125 to 145. Total fiscal year expenses for META, they're guiding now between 165 to 169 billion. That's actually going to be an increase there on the lower end. They previously saw 162 billion to 169 billion. Apparently more for Microsoft. They had year-over-year growth for commercial bookings of 11% for the quarter. Let me see what else I'm seeing here. Again, just seeing more here on Meta. Like we know the EPS was down big time on a year-over-year basis. Revenue did beat and grow 28% year-over-year. Net income dropped 14% year-over-year. And let's talk about Meta's operating margin, because that declined from 43% to 31%. Not good.
Breaking 190, like Nvidia's down to 190. That's getting crushed.
ARM is also out.
Oh my God, I don't even want to know about ARM.
At least for now, ARM is actually heading higher. But after what we've just seen, the bloodbath that we're seeing over in Meta,
let's just pretend ARM beats somehow.
Yeah,
okay,
they
good,
did
thank
beat.
God.
Adara, you have it, right?
Yep, I've got ARM, so it's actually on your screen as well, guys. ARM EPS 45 cents versus 40 cents expected. Revenue 1.29 billion versus 1.26 billion expected. That would be a double beat for Q1 2027 for ARM. They're guiding Q2 2027 revenue 1.38 billion. That's going to be above estimates of 1.34 billion. And they're guiding EPS for the quarter 47 cents above estimates of 43 cents. That is a double beat and a double beat on guidance for ARM. Hard to find anything holding this one back or yanking it to the downside, but right now, ARM kind of choppy here. Not seeing anything new on Meta, just seeing a lot of circulation of the same stuff. We're looking as well, guys, right now. For
Why is ARM not moving?
Robinhood,
Sentiment
Starbucks.
is dragging it down, in my opinion.
No, ARM just got crushed.
It just
Something
got hit the
else
low
came out
again.
right there.
It
It's
just
down
hit
to
the low.
224. ARM, yeah, exactly, Neil.
It's over.
I don't know if you read anything about it. Adara's going to get into that one right now, but we are down. You know what might actually save the day here? There's a lot of traders that are obviously invested in Robinhood. So let's have a quick little look to see when is Robinhood coming out. They're down to $90 right now. I don't know if they're out yet, but Robinhood, oh yeah, it is out. EPS 62 cents beats 42 cents. Estimate higher on sales. I'll leave that to the girls over there. Maybe Sia wants to look up Robinhood if she wants to. But right now, Robinhood down to $89 right now, relatively flat. But the story's going to be Meta, man. We talked about. I was hoping that they wouldn't talk more CapEx.
Oh my goodness!
But maybe they did, and there it is, bouncing off 530.
We're forgetting that Alphabet barely increased their CapEx. Lamb is out, and Lamb. We had 2 sympathy votes in the chat that actually picked Lamb, and they're going to the upside.
That means
every single time we have done a poll on earnings, it is the one that nobody likes that does the best. Yeah, the same thing about Apple multiple times. Lamb breaking it out through the top, but. I'm concerned about Meta. I'm concerned a little bit about ARM. If ARM can have a double beat in a good quarter and that can't head higher, that's a problem. Valuation is still lower right now. Still a concern. It's a pretty expensive stock. Mouse? It's holding on to 220, but that's about it for ARM. So, at this point, it's starting out pretty. I'm disappointed because I think a lot of people like Microsoft. I was with that. But I want to see Lamb hold on to it. I want to see ARM actually react positively to what was a good report. But we're just not getting that at all. And that's the thing. If you're expensive, you're not getting the benefit of the doubt. And even Qualcomm's value isn't helping them.
I don't want to talk about Qualcomm. What's up, Sia?
Take a look at Robinhood here. Robinhood actually climbing a little bit. So we're just going to discuss the earnings. Take a look at the numbers here. Revenue coming in at $1.31 billion. That's up 32% year over year, which is a record. Diluted EPS of 62 cents, which is up 48% year over year. Net income at $573 million. Again, up 48% year over year. Adjusted EBITDA coming in at $741 million, up 35% year over year. So revenue breakdown for this is quite like over here. We have the transaction-based revenue over here that's standing at $776 million. Again, up 44% year over year. And I think the stock is kind of making a comeback, but there's a little bit of a red tick right now. It did go to the up right now. It's still, however, down 3.5% on the day. While we get more, we will keep you updated. Also, Bitcoin down to 63.5 right now. I mean, there's some issues across the board. Right there's Randy here. What was that? Okay, so $90.80. Good little look there on Robinhood. One of the worst ones might be a name that I recently bought. Today we're going to see what winds up happening with Qualcomm. It's battling around that 150 marker, so that's going to be an issue there today as well. The highest I saw Microsoft was 408,
and that might have been the high right there, 404. I think it's important that we wait around for the calls. You know, I think that's going to be important to wait to see where exactly some of this CapEx is being spent and what they're looking forward, moving forward there with ARM, Meta, and Microsoft. Sorry, Adair, you got something?
I've got a couple things here. We'll talk Lam research here. LRCX, this is to the upside. Q4 EPS beat for them, $1.82 versus $1.68 expected. Sales, $6.722 billion, above estimates of $6.665 billion. Then you've got Starbucks. So it looks like a lot of these tickers ending in X on earnings are doing quite well. SBUX here, adjusted EPS 85 cents versus 66 expected. Sales, $9.32 billion versus $9.157 billion expected. That's a double beat for Starbucks. See if we have Carvana. I know we already have Carvana for you guys. Apparently this is down like significantly here. Yes, it is. So you actually have a double beat here in CVNA. Market's not liking it though. 42-cent EPS versus 36 expected. 7.376 billion versus 6.907 billion expected. So nice double beat for Carvana. I'm also seeing more comments here from MSFT management that I want to talk about. So you did have apparently their Anthropic investment doing quite well. They made some money there from that Anthropic. Apparently $3.2 billion worth of gain from the Anthropic investment for Microsoft. So just some quick updates here. I think we've gone over most of the big earnings announcements. CMG, Chipotle is still set to come out, but I wasn't seeing that till 4:35.
Bloodbaths left, right, and center. Cybersecurity once again. Fortinet up 13% after their report. So that's at least, I mean, it's the only thing that's actually holding up there. I don't have the numbers for FTNT. Okay, so I know you put them on the screen there, but at least this one is showing a little bit of juice. But here's the problem, whether it's a problem or not. It just tagged exactly the highs. Almost to the penny, it just tagged the highs and installed out. So if it doesn't break out, you got to find new ranges a lot of times. So Fortinet's going to tag that top. On sympathy, you're going to see some of the other names in cybersecurity do well. But I think the bigger concern here is Meta. I think Meta is what we're concerned about right now.
Yeah, I mean, Meta is a big problem. CMG doing not much here as well. If you do like what you're seeing now, push the like, push the subscribe. Join us on every single major earnings day. We're going to be here. We have the chat right in front of us, man. I mean, we're loving that. Shout out to Mimi. Shout out to Herd Scrambler, Trade Forever. Everyone that's here. T-Hyde, the others. The notorious Dinkelberg is also here as well. We want to thank everybody for being here. Big spinner, man. Hope you didn't put too many spins in this market these days. Chipotle now up 7%. What you got, Adara?
Yeah, I've got actually a little bit more on Starbucks to kind of explain the extent of this move to the upside. We already talked about how they beat on EPS, they beat on sales, but their comp sales are really good here. U.S. comp sales 7.9% year over year versus 5.72% expected. International 5.7% up versus 4.14% expected. Adjusted operating margin 14.4%, well above estimates 11.9%. Brian Nickel and his team just crushed it over here in SBUX. They also guided Q4 U.S. comp sales of at least 6.5%, well above estimates of 4.8% growth. So it's just a good look across the board for SBUX, sipping some caramel macchiato to the upside here.
Microsoft is red.
Oh, good. That's a problem.
Man, too bad I don't really drink because this will be a good day to drink. Like there we go to the down. Oh, Joe's getting
looks like I picked the wrong day to quit amphetamines.
Joe's getting involved now. But yeah, right down there, we almost took out the day's low on Microsoft there again, right? The day was made. Microsoft absolutely throwing up on itself after Warsh came through. And then there it is right now. We just touched out to 390 there on Microsoft. It's giving it all back. Real quick on Microsoft. And then, of course, the other name that Neil was mentioning there, Meta. Meta's actually doing much better right now. Yeah, we thought Softy was saving the day. Looks like Meta might be creating some little upside jig there with it, though. Nice move up to 560 again for Meta. And then Qualcomm, my guy over here. I guess, when am I averaging in? Maybe soon on Qualcomm, as that just breaks a little lower. We're long about this 180 marker there on Qualcomm, off these some kind of support levels that no longer exist for Qualcomm. Going down further on a daily chart, you're getting into some buy zones, I would think. But wow, this whole market, man, I mean, Intel, Nvidia, everything not really creating some good movements. You know, Nvidia, Neil, down $7 since 3 o'clock. Nvidia, like, let's think about that, down $7. This is a $4 trillion name. You know, doesn't get hit like that easily, but apparently it does after all.
What's crazy to me is we were talking about how Lam had a good quarter. The guidance comes out on Lam, and it's fantastic. Like, you're talking 2 to 230 versus 180, so the midpoint's a big beat on the guide. 7.7 to 8.5 billion. versus 7 flat. That's a huge guide. And what do? They drop it $20 for it to come back a little bit. So, we're still seeing this reality where the sellers they're just a little bit quicker to hit the keys right now. The buyers are not as strong as we would like to see, but this one's at least going to be, look, it bounced. It just kind of says, if nobody likes it in our poll, it's probably the way to go. But again, at least we have Meta catching a bit of a bid. That could be a positive sign. I know it's down a bunch, but at least they caught a bit off 535. Yeah, we're back into the 560 range, so that looks a bit better. But
Amazon coming. We got some more major movers.
We still have Apple
coming
to come
in the next couple of days,
tomorrow,
but we can start to wrap this thing up. Adara, what are you posting up on here? Yeah, Chipotle. Good move on Chipotle. What do you want to tell us about that?
Yes, if you want to go over Chipotle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Chipotle is climbing right now as well. So revenue has come in at $3.35 billion, and it has, Sean, beat expectations of $3.33 billion over here. Adjusted EPS at 33 cents, beating expectations of 32 cents, and GAAP EPS at 32 cents. Comparable sales up 2.2%. You have operating margin at 15.7% as well. Not bad of a look here at all, and stock speaks for it as well.
Good review there, Sia. The daily chart on CMG, very, very popular as it's breaking higher right there, 37 and change. We'll see if you come over to my screen over here, if you can get it. There it is right there. So we'll see if Chipotle can sort of save the day. And you know who's coming tomorrow? Jersey Mike's coming tomorrow.
Big IPO, big IPO.
Good day to IPO after we see the reaction here to a similar name in Chipotle. So Meta, Microsoft. That's the bell of the ball here today. Microsoft's actually thinking about turning red. It's red already, but if it does get lower than 390, then that's red from the close.
Oh, don't think I don't see you, MF Dane. I'll do the salute for Robinhood, but you probably gave that a minute or two ago when Robinhood was actually breaking out. Robinhood's now back underneath the highs. Just keep in mind some of these percentages that the market defecated all over itself in the afternoon. So a lot of things were down. This is up from the close, even though it says 0.2 to the downside. So yeah, not bad for them.
No.
Mixed from Microsoft, I guess, because it pulled back in there. Fortinet strong, Lam okay, Meta bad, Qualcomm to the downside, just going over some of the big names here. And then, of course, Chipotle looking pretty solid. Yeah.
Everybody, if you're watching us now, make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. It's been an absolute blast to be with you throughout this earnings report. Guess what? I think we're doing it all tomorrow again. So we should have a lot of fun there. I love this 4-box. Thank you, Sia, for staying late. Thank you, Adara, for all of that as well. And we had some great cover today. And I just, hopefully some of you are a little short, some of those names. But hey, there was up days, right? There was Chipotle, there was Robinhood, seems to be up.
There's a couple.
Right there. But we're live tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So join us at 8 a.m. because we still got all the conference calls.
All the calls.
So we're not sure exactly what's
more earnings in the morning. Post-Fed.
At this time, when Intel reported, it was up 14%. We came in the next morning and it cracked into the negative territory. So hopefully we can get a little bit of a bid happening in this market. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. That's Neil, I'm Sean, Sia, and Adara. We will see everybody tomorrow. And thank you to everybody watching. That's the most important part. We'll do it tomorrow at 8 a.m. Join us then. Thanks, TikTok.
Ciao.